We are back after technical difficulties. Back
Hallelujah.
to this event. Here's us. Here's the final table. We are going to get the final table. At least 8 of the players at the final table. As we can see, what was his name? Vulvasaur? His name is actually Evan Parks, who was terrorizing people before. So now
Yes,
you know
indeed.
who your tormentor was. It's Evan Parks. Meanwhile, we have Martin Aleja.
Are we sure that's Evan Parks? I think they redrew because that person is not near the chip leader. They don't have
It's
very many
same same avatar, isn't it? Or was it Harry? Was it Harry Lodge? Maybe it was Harry Lodge. It was one of those looking avatars.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I couldn't. I'm just be making things up.
I'm pretty sure.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
It was Harry Lodge. Harry Lodge is the tormentor.
Let's go with that. Anyway, we're at the final table. There's 8 players left. You can see the money jumps. Everything's real here, and we're gonna find out who's gonna go for it and who's gonna sit back, ladder up, and hope to get lucky. Cooler some people.
Current payout $34,000 for 8th place.
Not too shabby, but nothing compared to the over $300,000 for first, and that's what everyone should be going for. But everyone has different financial priorities. It's not really fair for me to say that, I guess.
A little deceptive. It says the money jump is $47,000 up there at the top of the poker playing window, but really that's the next payout in 7th place. Tricky.
So it's a $13,000 payout, or money jump is the actual money jump. Yeah, you're right.
It's got you all flummoxed. You can't even say the right words anymore.
Something's got me flummoxed. I'm not sure if it's that. All right, we got some suited aces, and that's about it.
I imagine David is going to open.
I think he's just going to shove it. He's got 8 blinds. Feels like a super obvious shove, and everyone should run away screaming. So far, so good, David.
Maybe Harry Lodge wants to play more hands. We saw Harry Lodge play a ton of hands before we lost our stream for a second there.
We think. But yeah. Harry Lodge has got a hand now. Got king, queen. But probably David
Jacobo something.
Yeah, something. We don't know. David is probably going to shove again, with the deuces. And Harry probably just can't call here.
Out of the small blind, no. Big blind is close, but it's a fold here. I think we're just going to call him David.
Yeah, I think that's the move. I think first names are a great idea. I can see all their first names. It's exciting. We got pocket 10s in the big blind, and Stuart with king 10, Alec with ace 9.
I imagine Alec.
Blind versus blind.
Yeah, Alec's going to be shoving this, I think. If Harry doesn't, by the way. Harry could just open.
Harry could open, Alec could 3-bet, and then Abhinav could just move in with, 9 blinds and pocket 10s. Look at this, but Martin opens. See if Alec decides to 3-bet. I think it's a pretty straightforward 3-bet.
It gets a little scary, though, where you're at the final table of a World Series of Poker event, first place $343K. You're raising one of the only player at the table that can bust you. That's a little scary, but still, Alec does it. It's the right play.
It is definitely the right play. But now Alec is like, womp womp.
Must call. Know you're in trouble, but that's just life. 2 spades would be nice. 2 spades. Nope.
That is a bad turn.
Just an ace now. The
3
slow
outs
peel.
only. That's it. Super important double up there for Abhinav.
Yeah.
Abhinav. Super important.
And
suddenly Abhinav is rockets into 7th place. No longer in the rear.
More than a double because of the open from Martin.
Yeah, a lot more than a double. Well, David's got a hand. He's probably just going to shove here, right?
I imagine.
12 blinds? 12 and a half? Doesn't have to.
It is early-ish position, but still. And we see the ace-jack fold.
That's powerful. Look at that. The ace-jack. I mean, I understand it, but wow. Like, I thought ace-queen's calling, right? But ace-jack, getting ace-jack to fold is such a victory for David. Such a victory. Well, there's a lot of shove stacks now, too. We've got both blinds are shove stacks, and David with under 15 blinds, or right around 15 blinds, pretty much a shove stack. Stuart's a shove stack.
Oh, David just opens under the gun with 15 blinds and 7-9 suited. That is optimistic.
That is really optimistic. It looks super strong, I'll say that.
It does look strong as hell. That is for sure.
He must be thinking that. And also, the blinds can't really call. Although, actually, Queen 10 suited could call. Could
Absolutely.
defend for one blind there. And
Out of
probably
the big-
should be.
Out of the big, I think you probably should be defending there. I know it hurts to lose a blind,
Yeah.
and you often lose a blind, but I think the math supports a call.
Absolutely. With a hand as good as Queen 10 suited, I think it's not even close. I think it's like a very straightforward call. But anyway, this is probably just going to get through.
Seems
we're
like
going to
it.
see. We're going to see who's trying to bully the table and who's trying to sit back and hope good things happen.
Well, we've
Sometimes
already
the people who
seen.
sit back.
I mean, yeah, like they can get second place,
Sometimes
but
that works.
we've already seen Harry Lodge bully the table in our brief stint before a previous stream. Harry Lodge.
Look at this. Look at this. Ivanov with king 6 off.
Maybe Abanov's going to bully the table.
With 2 short stacks right on his left, too. That seems very optimistic to me.
Gets called.
And C-bet is just going to take it down, though, so much here. A very small one. 400K will do it. Most of the time.
You could just min bet and fold to any aggression,
Yeah.
basically, which looks like what
You're right.
Abanov is doing.
When Stewart is as short as Stewart is, yeah, a min bet is fine. You're right. Really against almost anyone.
Yeah.
Min bet is fine. Certainly with against 5 blinds, you don't have to make it 400K over 300K.
Got some hands
Pocket
here.
nines and
Nines.
ace jack, yeah.
Ace jack.
Probably I would guess ace jack's probably just going to fold to the under the gun open, though. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
You were right, but if you're gonna 3-bet any player under the gun open, I think it's Harry Lodge.
The problem is you still have 5 players behind you, though, for Abanov.
Yeah.
And you may feel obligated to call, like with a lot of the shortish stacks behind you. Pocket aces for David and king queen for Alec. I expect we're going to see a little. Oh, king queen just folds, though. How does Alec know? He's watching the stream. He's watching the stream.
Now
He's
that's
got time travel capabilities.
That is obviously a 30-minute delay. Jonathan is being facetious.
If he has the Harry Potter time turner like Hermione had, he could do it all.
Wow, really just
Are we
hitting the viewers where they live right there. It's good.
They know what I mean. The viewers get it.
Yep, they sure do. Martin could have gotten in some trouble there with the king 10, but decided against it. And that is sad for David after having opened the majority of hands so far that we've seen, not getting any action with aces.
Yeah, but it's people are really we see mostly people are playing careful and tight right now. It's okay, but that's just what's up.
I think we're gonna have to see a call from Alec here. It's almost 4 blinds. It's close-ish, but Alec has the stack to do it.
I think he should call. It's not. I mean, he's getting better than 2-1 right here. He's supposed to call. He does, and the 2-1 means his percentages are just fine with this call. He's happy to see it, but now he's going to need a lot of help. That helps a little.
A little bit of help.
Got
Let's
5
get the slow
outs.
peel, 7 or an 8. Otherwise, we have 7 players left.
It would be devastating. A club is good for Alec.
Oh, it's a jack.
Okay.
All right, so now we're down to 7. One of these players. Oh, no, we're not. I thought
we're not
for some reason I thought Stewart.
We got confused.
Yeah. Well, we're
You're good
almost
at this live streaming thing.
We're almost down to 7. It's close.
Evan Parks shoves. It's just another one of the many, many short stacks though that we're seeing here.
If somebody
Stewart, Evan, Andreas, all super short.
If somebody said, "Hey Grant, what time will they be down to 7?" and I said 8:16 p.m. Pacific time, and they were down to 8, you would give me credit, right? You would say that was close. So
it's unlikely I would say that, but whatever. Just between us. So here's the thing. We've got some interesting ICM implications for not so much for the short stacks, but for the medium stacks. Like everyone who isn't Harry and Martin, but has more than 10 blinds, where 3 guys look like they're on the verge of busting. And so you may feel obligated to play kind of carefully here. And look, by the way, we got Harry and Alec. Really good hands. I assume Harry's going to 3-bet, and then we're going to see what Alec does with this exact spot. It's such an interesting ICM spot for him, where you're probably supposed to go with 10s, but oh my goodness.
Wow. We have David opening ace-3 off, by the way, and then Martin deciding to 3-bet this. This is now the Jackson 10s both fold. That is so sick. Yeah, I know, but
it's exactly the ICM thing, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly what we're talking about. They're both trying to take advantage of the dynamic, and Martin Martin needed David to open for this to work out, but wow, this is obviously going to work almost always, right? Surely David's not going to shove here. Surely this would be incredible.
Martin must have really been noticing that David was opening no matter what stack David had, no matter what position David was in, or else Martin would have never made that play, right?
You would think. That seems just very optimistic. Although Martin also just aware pretty clearly that David is only going to go with the very top of his range there, probably because of all the shorties around him. You know, there's 3 people under 10 blinds here. 3 people with 9 blinds.
I mean, that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. It's hard to argue. I mean, if those 3 people bust, we're talking like a $60,000 money jump. So you can understand it. By the way, a 10 would be a disaster for David. He's probably not going to stick around to see if he can get one.
I don't think David's going to see another card here unless Martin checks back, because this is the type of board that Martin, if he's going to have a balanced check back range, might check back.
But why be balanced in this incredible ICM spot?
Yeah, you're right.
Just bet. By the way, you can bet and call off here too. You have a good enough hand to be able to call off with the equity. But he does check. David turns open-ended. This is just interesting now. David's going to bet, right?
I think David's going to bet, and I think Martin's going to have to fold because there's not enough money to win if he gets there.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how much David bets.
This is David's board too. David is supposed to have it on this board. He bets a little bigger than you might expect.
I would expect Martin with all these chips is going to call. Also, because sometimes David's going to give up on the river, and Martin, you're just going to check the river, and then Martin can just move him in, and David's going to have to fold so much of his range. So I think for 900,000, 3 blinds, I think. Oh no, you're right, Grant. He finds a fold. Wow, what a deal for David to be able to get that through.
We've seen just pure aggression from David so far, no matter what the stack. Harry Lodge, speaking of pure aggression.
I mean, the big stacks and even Dave and David are really going for it so far. It's been pretty cool. This is what we like to see in these tournaments, right? We don't want to see everyone playing tight and careful. We want to see blood everywhere. It's like The Shining, sort of.
Well,
top pair against bottom pair.
This is basically a cooler based on the effective stack of Stewart. This is basically a cooler.
I would expect Stewart's going to be probably either open jamming or check raising all in. But an open jam is not crazy. Yeah, there it is.
This is a call for sure, and Stewart's in big trouble.
Well, he's got gut shots also.
Well, now he doesn't have the 5s and the 4s.
Well, no, he has 5s.
Oh, the 5s, yes, of course. No 4s.
He just loses the 4s. But 7, no good, and that is it.
Wait.
Goes.
Are we down to 7?
We are finally down.
I
to
did
7.
it. I said I predicted it from before. We're down to 7.
No. It's impressive. Nostradamus, Grandstradamus. It's very impressive that you called that someone would eventually bust this tournament.
Hey, we might also be down to 6 pretty soon here because we have an all in. Jack has been folded. No clubs for anybody.
No clubs for anybody. One card to come. It's going to come slow. I know that. It always comes slow. And that is it. And we are down to 6. Only one short stack left. So, Grant, it's going to be interesting to see now if everyone sort of waits for Evan Parks to bust or if they just keep going at it the way they have been.
Well, you see the money jump here, 65K to 91K. It's pretty appealing to wait for Evan Parks to bust. But David's got his foot on the pedal, and it's not going to work this time with Alec with ace-queen in the big.
Well, it might. I mean, we'll see. Alec just calls, though.
Ooh, it's going to work really well for David.
God. So unfair. Well, there's still Alex still has jacks and queens and I guess some backdoor stuff, but wow.
And Canadian pride.
Wow. That is really rough.
I don't know if you noticed this here, Jonathan, but David betting much smaller here. Oh, the jack comes.
Gosh. David knows that's a terrible card.
Obviously. He really can't beat anything now. I mean, Alec has either a jack or an ace most of the time when he calls on that board, maybe sometimes a gutter.
Well, Alec checks again. So David's going to go for value here, right? No, what a great check back. What a great check back by David. I think a lot of people would go for value there on the river.
Pretty sick turn.
Well, I guess to be called by only a queen, like king, queen or something is about it. So that was interesting. Well, bad timing here for Evan Parks. He's going to certainly be getting it in here against queens. they are not going to find a fold.
I mean, you don't know for sure.
I mean, I'm sometimes surprised at the folds people make, but I feel confident. The way you felt confident saying they were going to go from 8 to 7 at some point, that Martin is going to get in. Martin's just trying to induce by taking a while to call, I think, but doesn't work. And here we go. We could be down to 5. Oh, it's open-ender, Grant.
Oh, he gets there.
And we have a straight. Just
Wow.
like that. Got the nuts on the turn. Pretty good. Get it in and get the nuts on the turn, and that's that. Who cares what the other guy has when you have the nuts? Nice and easy. 7-9. Why not? All right. There are no short stacks suddenly. Well, no very short stacks anyway. 20 blinds. Oh, no. Actually, the blinds just went up, though. So
Yeah, they went up last hand. It's disappointing for everybody, obviously. Nobody wanted to see that except for Evan Parks.
Yeah, so running hot indeed, Evan. Running hot.
Yep.
Good timing to move
Like
in
the
with the
sun.
7-9. Wow.
I think Harry Lodge is going to get it through despite his image.
Yeah, I think he is. Evan Parks with 15 blinds here. He's thinking about maybe calling because he's getting such a good price, I guess, and he's got a queen in his hand, but he can probably do a little better.
I got to say, seeing a British guy named Harry makes the Sultans of Swing just play over and over again in my head.
Huh. There are many British guys named Harry. Prince Harry, I believe, is a British guy.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of Harry doesn't mind, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I
like that.
He's got a daytime job. He's doing all right.
He's doing all right. Yeah, you really overdid that accent a little bit, but nothing wrong with that.
I was doing my American version of a British accent, which is a bad impersonation of Jason Statham. That's how you get there. And Harry is gonna continue to bully the table. See, it's fun. Perhaps the Brits don't like it.
It's fun.
Perhaps the Brits don't like it, but it's like
it's
7 in the morning in England right now. So what do they care?
They're either working or sleeping or who knows what.
Yeah.
They're eating their crumpets. It's fine. All right, Abhinav, who we have not seen play a hand in a very long time now, finally opens the Jack.
Well,
9.
he did open the King 6 a couple orbits ago.
That's
opened
true.
The King 6.
It feels like so much has happened since then, though. So many people have busted. The situation has changed pretty dramatically.
62 to 63 players have busted since then. And Abhinav gets it through.
Martin just folds the suited hand for a min raise. I'm surprised. And now we go to break. Now, guys, those of you who are watching, just so you know, there are times when we may switch from this to event 32, the opener, depending on sort of if there's more interesting stuff happening there. Right now, we're probably going to stay with this one for a while, probably all the way down to the winner. But if there's some really fascinating thing that's happening with the other hand, the feed will switch, and we'll switch right along with it. So keep your dancing shoes ready, because we are all about showing you the most interesting, most fun part of the World Series at any moment, because we're doing it live like Bill O'Reilly. So one of the cool things here is the money jumps. As you can see, we got a $25,000, $26,000 money jump here, but still so much money to be won up top. I personally think you just can't worry about these money jumps, especially now that there's no super short stacks. I guess Evan Parks is relatively short. Maybe if you are Harry Lodge, you don't want to play a huge pot against Martin right now if you don't have to, if you don't have a really good reason to. But besides that, I think Harry and Martin should be doing their level best to be bullying the rest of the table, especially Alec and Abhinav, who are going to be sitting there thinking like, well, if I just, if Alec could just fold his way to, maybe another 50, 60, 70K, that should be on Alec's mind at least. And it just depends on how much does Alec care about that kind of stuff. So 6 players left. Great. Anything strike you strategically based on the stack sizes that you think we should be looking out for, or sort of occur to you as you check out the situation?
Well, I think it's going to be Harry who does it if between Harry and Martin based on what we've seen so far, but maybe a little bit of the McKeehan strategy that I remember from the 2015 main event final table where McKeehan was consistently trying to bully the medium stacks because he knew the ICM was so huge for the other medium stacks versus those medium stacks. So like, for example, Abanov is not going to want to bust when Evan and David are there. So Harry and Martin can maybe 3-bet Abanov or Alec a lot lighter, knowing that he's going to have to fold a lot more frequently.
It's weird because the stacks, although like Evan Parks is clearly has significantly less chips than Abanov, like there's like keeps being like a 2.5 blind jump between, 6th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd, so they're all like kind of close to the next person. There's not a lot of space, but yet you still think like I would imagine anyway, like Alec would look at Evan and think like, boy, that guy's going to bust a fair amount before I would bust.
Yeah.
If I just like sit back and wait. But like David is not as much, and then Abanov even less so. It's weird how they're all sort of just 2.5 blinds away from each other. Like Abanov does have a bit of a lead on the other two shorter stacks, but not a huge one. So it's an interesting balancing act.
It is. It's always tough at a final table because you're pulled by so many forces, and when the money is really real, like it is here. I mean, $65K for the next payout, but first place is approaching $350K, so we're talking a serious difference. What you're supposed to do is just take the math in, understand it, and understand ICM, and be okay with the outcomes if you make the right decisions. But it's really hard to do that when sometimes that means you go almost $65K instead of a lot more money than that, such as $91,000, which is the next payout,
Yeah. I mean, usually these things are won by the person who decides they don't care as much, right? Like P.S. Hines, I'm thinking of back in the day.
Yeah.
Not always. Qui Win. The guys who are willing to, not the Gordon Vayos of the world, but the Qui Wins of the world, right?
Right. That's a perfect dichotomy right there.
Yeah. Gordon Vayo, I guess you're not one of these people because we can see your names, but
yep.
We're sorry for all the names we called you, but
I mean, we went on a little bit of a Vayo thing, as did a lot of people.
So Zach Liu is saying he'll take North American WSOP champ versus non-North American champ. His 10 to R15, any interest. What do you think that means? How would we know? How are we taking them? Taking them in what way?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I certainly would like betting with Zach and would be happy to, but I don't even know what he's talking about.
Let's read the words again.
Are they going to have like a race?
Let's read the words again and see if they make sense. I'll take North American WSOP champ versus non-North American champ. My 10 to your 15.
Now. I got it. I figured it out, Grant.
Okay.
I kind of want to do it, Grant. I gotta tell you.
So we get the rest. He's saying you get the rest of the world, and he gets Canada, Mexico, and the United States as the players who would win the main event championship.
Oh, does he mean? Oh, maybe no. I think he means right now. I think he means in this one.
Oh, does he?
So you got, yeah. So that way we have.
Well, we don't know who the Americans are because they're not playing from America.
No, I think we're just going to use the flags. We're assuming they have their flags here, and we'll go.
Right, but
flags,
some Americans may be in
non-Mexico
or Canada.
Well, all I have is the flags. Anyway,
all right, let's get back to the action. We'll
so close.
We'll do side bets later.
Yeah, he says for this event. Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. All right. Evan Parks.
Not going to play this one. Perhaps still in the bathroom. Still in the bathroom.
Must be. That makes more sense than whatever else is going on.
There's no ICM jumping by stalling when there's only one table left, so that's not what's going on.
Also, when you're the short stack, not as effective either. But you're right. Stalling when there's one table left doesn't matter no matter what.
Yeah.
We do have some hands this time around.
I think Ari's going to play this one.
Ari.
Is that offensive? Are we allowed to do that? I don't care.
I think you're still okay. I think you're okay.
I hope so.
So Harry's got an opportunity to 3-bet here. He's probably going to take it, right? There it is.
And I don't think David's going to call it off here, but we've seen crazier things.
Yeah, but you know that feeling you get in your chest when you have king queen in this spot, about 20 blinds or 16 blinds, and you get 3-bet. It just sucks.
That feeling of like, yeah, I know I'm going to click the call button. Oh, it's going to be so good. I'm going to click it. Oh,
Yeah.
didn't click it.
I think what happens is, for me anyway, I think I'm folding, but is there any way I can talk myself into calling? No, I guess not.
Let's see if Evan Parks. Yeah, Evan Parks is not the David type player he's not going to open under the gun with relatively weak holdings and 12 blinds.
Mm.
Harry though.
Zach did confirm that it is flags.
Okay.
So I assume it's the 2 Canadian players versus the non-Canadian players, I guess.
There's a Mexican player too, right?
There is. You're
David's
right.
is Mexican.
My bad. Well, Zach, you got to bet if you still want it. Sure.
Looks like he's got action in the chat from Mike Lavin anyway.
Yeah. Thing is, if they don't know each other, it's a little harder to pull that off. We actually know Zach, so I can Venmo him the money. Anyway, here's Abinov, and it looks like David's going to probably get the business end of a 3-bet shove again here.
Oh, no, Abinov folds. I wonder if Abinov has not been really noticing David's massive opening rate, because David, no matter what stack size, has been opening from every position.
If he's not noticing it, what has he been looking at? What has he been doing with all this time? By the way, here we go. Look at this. 8s, ace-jack, and then Evan Parks with ace-king behind.
Yeah, we might see a shove from Abinov and then a reshove from Evan Parks.
I expect that. And then Harry Lodge is going to be probably... Oh, my God. Abinov is really trying to ladder up here.
Yeah, I mean, a little strange considering that we did see Abinov open king 6 off not that long ago.
Well, it's versus shoving it, though. He's clearly decided not to be 3-betting.
You can flat.
Because he could have... Yeah. I mean, he's pretty short to flat, but you're right. He could flat. I think Harry's opening enough. You could just shove. Anyway, Harry's got a pretty straightforward call. 12 blinds, pocket 8s. It's too good to fold. There it is.
And here we go, off to the races. Good flop.
So far, so good for the big stack. 1 card. It's going to come slow. It's red. Red is good for the big slick, but no good.
And that is a $26,000 money jump. Very exciting for these players.
Yeah. Hey, well, I guess we just lost a Canadian, Zach Lou. And it went to a British guy. That's
Zach Fool, more like.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. I sort of forgot I was rooting for the. I don't really want to root for players that way. That seems unfair. I'm doing the commentary here. But I'm rooting for anyone who's not in North America based on their flex.
because of your small bet.
Because I want to win $10.
All right. Is Harry Lodge just gonna ship this? It is a lot of chips. Nope. Opening it normally. Getting called and flopping the best hand. I don't know what Alec will do against a c-bet here.
He has to call, doesn't he? He has to call once.
You'd think so, but if you're gonna flop a pair, this is one of the crappiest flops to flop a pair on with 7-8, no club.
I mean, it's a blind and a half. I just don't see how you.
Oh! That is how you do it.
Good things can happen. I expect a check from Harry here with there's no kicker king.
Yes.
There it is. That makes sense. And Alec just should be, yeah, good. He's betting to build a pot. Potentially could shove the river. I assume Harry's calling here.
I assume Harry's going call fold unless a king comes.
Harry can really only beat a draw. Now he's losing to Jack 10 as well. He can only beat clubs when Alec is, because we know Alec's gonna bet this river, right?
Goes for it all. I don't see Harry calling here.
Yeah. This is a problem if Harry. I mean, I know Harry has no kicker, but if Harry folds a king, which I think he's probably going to do, it makes me wonder maybe Alex should be betting a lot smaller. Although maybe Harry will find a call.
I don't know how small you have to go, though, because it is a good fold. But how small do you have to go to get called? 1.4 million, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's like 3 blinds. Because you're targeting a queen or a king only, right? Yeah. And Jack 10 got there. And he doesn't, and Harry doesn't really have Jack 10 and doesn't have missed clubs. So almost ever the way he played it.
Well,
still.
On to the next one. And I could really see a 3-bet coming from Harry, especially with Martin's stack relative to some of the other stacks at the table. He's a good guy to bully, and a really unlucky draw for Martin to be on the right of Harry with these stack sizes and Harry's proclivity to put aggression in. As we see, it was almost a foregone conclusion. I barely even considered that he wouldn't 3-bet.
It'll be interesting to see if Martin at some point, I don't know if he's going to do it here, but stands up for himself in one of these spots if Harry's going to keep 3-betting him, or if he's going to let Harry just push him around the hole, until there's no short stacks left, basically. I understand why Martin would fold. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. But against this opponent in this situation, it is certainly plus chip EV to basically just move in here, even though it sucks.
Exactly. Maybe you want to have a slightly better hand to do it with in case Harry has a hand like 8s or 9s. You want to have like ace 10 or better, but then you're not even really bluffing.
Not really, no.
Here's Abena. It feels like probably just a shove. Yeah. There it goes. And David is the short stack, although he's been going for it
David's been playing like he has a lot of chips. And compared to the starting stack, he has a lot of chips, but not compared to the other players at the table, which is a little bit more important.
It is more important, actually. I found that myself.
David, almost, I feel lucky to find a fold there based on how he's played in the past in unopened pots. Could have seen him shoving there with a 6-9. I guess he would have been live.
Yeah. So if it folds to Martin, I'm going to be curious to see how he plays king queen in a blind versus the chip leader here. We'll see if it actually folds to him, though.
Harry's definitely a candidate to limp 3-bet against with a hand like this.
I was thinking that too. You really hate to bet and get jammed on, but limp 3-bet big, committing 3-bet. That feels kind of like the nuts to me.
It does limp.
There's the limp. I like it.
Is Harry going to be Harry?
I would be Harry if I was Harry.
That's a really good, well thought out point.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, Harry doesn't be Harry, and we get the ace high flop, king for Martin.
It feels like a very straightforward check call spot for Martin most of the time here, right? Let Harry try and bully him. You're almost always ahead. There's not too much to protect against, but he goes for the min bet. That's not crazy either, but
it's not crazy, but you're really just trying to get called by a 6 or a weaker king, and that's a rarity, I think.
Or a draw.
I think you just let Harry try to bully you. You check and let Harry try to bully you is the better move there.
I completely agree with you. It's like really hard for Harry. The board's going to have to come out pretty funky for you to find a fold by the river, I think, because Harry doesn't have a big ace almost ever. You can eliminate a lot of hands from Harry's range on that board. But I love this. I love Harry opening the 7 deuce in this spot. I love it. This is just flex.
This is where GTO goes out the window, right? This is how final tables are won when people are money scared. It's just pure aggression.
Well, I mean, when people are money scared, that's game theory stuff too, right? If you think people's ranges are going to tighten up, then you can.
If they're only going to defend with 5% of hands, game theory changes a lot from the norm. That's for sure.
Yeah. You exploit off of your base game theory, but it just moves into. Oh, by the way, let's see what Alec does here.
Just flats. Call? Unlikely to be a big conflict on a flop here.
Yeah. Alec, I guess, can just barely do that and get away with that. Because Alec can actually set mine at these stack depths, just barely for 600,000.
Turns out it was a great decision, and Alec would have likely busted this hand had Alec tried to go with it.
So is Alec going to bet to deny equity or just check again, do you think?
I'm going to bet more than half pot here.
Martin just has to call once, right? With 9s and a gutter, you just have to call once?
Picking up the gutter, I think you do. Although it's hard to think of hands you beat other than small pairs that are denying equity. You wouldn't really put Alec on 6-7 suited or 8-9 suited or hands like that. Not too often.
Yeah, not too often.
And it's a raise.
Whoa.
Trying to fold out jacks. Fold out it.
Yeah, maybe even like a bad. No, it can't be a bad queen. It has to be like king jack or jack 10 suited.
Interesting play there from Martin.
He blocks the nuts. That's got to be a big part of it.
Yeah, I think that's a relatively well thought out play as far as Alec and what Alec's responses are going to be. I don't think it's a great story that Martin is telling, but at this stage, it doesn't really matter.
You just don't think he would ever check back 9-10, but he can have a set, I guess, and he could have turned a set of 8s or something. I guess I don't know. You figure Alec almost never has a set because Alec would have 3-bet almost all those cards that make a set pre-flop. So it's like queen jack or nothing, pretty much, or maybe king queen ace queen, which may not fold, but everything else is going to fold probably. Anyway, pretty cool.
Looks like we're going to see some post-flop action here.
Well, better flop for Harry than for Martin, but probably won't see too much action unless Martin gets bluffy.
This is a rather deflating flop for these two hands.
Well, Harry at least can make the nuts still.
And he doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene.
Yeah.
Which helps.
He has a daytime job.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah. But, you can play. All right.
We could do
Cousin
this
Jimmy
the whole
Farha
time.
says in the chat, he says, Mike Postle would crush this game. I got to say, as someone who can see the cards, I feel I do very well.
Yeah.
You stick me in there. You let me see everything.
You can also see that blinds just went up. Puts a little more squeeze on Abhinav and David, and some squeeze on Alec as well.
Yeah.
He's now got just 16 blinds.
Here we are. We're seeing a lot of blind.
Oh
versus
my
blind
goodness.
play.
Martin just
can't believe
folded
it.
ace-4 off.
Well, that level of capitulation says to me that Harry's going to need to get unlucky to not finish in the top 3 at this point. Like really unlucky.
Martin
Maybe
just
top
wasn't
2 even.
Martin wasn't willing to go with it against Harry, who he knew was willing to go with it when the stacks are this way, and that's the power of this situation.
But you could limp, you could raise, you could limp re-raise. You still don't have to go with it in any of those spots, Do all those things and not go with it still. So, seems a little nuts. Alec with kind of a perfect stack size to shove, and he does.
And Martin can't call with this hand, of course.
Yeah. Too bad, though. It's so pretty. You feel like, come on. Why do I even play these hands? It doesn't even matter what I have.
I want to go play a cash game. I want to go play a cash game where they can't make me fold unless they go crazy. Chris C. with a really good point in the chat that he can play the honky-tonk like anything, and he's saving it up for a Friday night, referring to Harry Lodge, of course. It's a good point.
Max Sawyer asked if we've seen Doug Polk's minute-long roast of D-Negs that he uploaded yesterday. I certainly have. Grant, you're aware of the whole D-Neg situation.
I saw it.
I mean,
are you going to blow up on the stream? You want to? I mean, it's getting views. You should be the guy who blows up. I don't want to be that guy.
I mean, if Doug Polk wants to make a video, I mean, that's probably Doug Polk's most watched video ever, right? I mean, I watched that video twice. I mean, I've never seen Doug Polk video twice, I don't think. So, like, I'm sure the whole world's watching that multiple times. Oh, man. What's happened to D-Negs, dude? It's weird. It's weird. It's hurting that brand.
Well,
I guess he's okay. He's got money. He's okay.
Yeah. We can
It's
make
not
a whole.
pretty, dude.
We can have a whole other
Yeah.
whole other content stream based just on that if we wanted to.
Well,
Harry's not
here
going
we
to get
go.
this one through. He's not going to be getting quite the right odds to call with 8-9, I think, when David inevitably moves in.
Now the question, I guess Martin's just going to find a fold here with King Queen now too. Yeah, hoping that Harry calls, but
He is getting 2-1. If he's against 2 overs, it's clearly the right odds. And David has shown proclivities for aggression.
And I tell you what, he can afford it, but I think 8-9 off is part of the range we can fold here.
Yeah, and he does.
Especially when we see everyone is just capitulating constantly to Harry. Like there's going to be so many opportunities to push people around. You don't have to call there. I like the fold.
Harry gets another walk.
Phoenix got banned on Twitch. Wow.
Well, he was threatening the people who were watching, which I'm just waiting to do it. You can see Max Sawyer's watching. I want to threaten that guy, but I don't want YouTube to ban me, so I can't.
We can threaten him without threatening him. Think of it that way. Like Max Sawyer, watch yourself.
We know.
I'm not saying.
All right. Anyway,
Hey,
got
we
an
like
open
Max
ender.
Sawyer.
Open ender for Harry Lodge.
All right.
Alex Stasiak with bottom pair probably has to call. It's Harry.
Call it once, but
it's going to be tough to call anymore for sure.
Gotta believe Harry's going to continue here. That queen is a good card for Harry as well. I think better for him than for Alec. And he goes big. I like it.
Max Sawyer with the ellipses in the chat, waiting for the threat. Well, Max, check your Twitter. We'll get you there.
So Snipper6613 asks, what happened to D-Negs and Doug Polk? Well, so on Daniel's World Series stream, someone in the chat window who was watching, I think, wrote something. It's unclear exactly what he wrote. The claim that Dean Eggs made anyway is that someone wrote something about his wife, Amanda. No one saw the chat, that the line got deleted. I assume it probably was that, about something about her. Dean Egg gets roasted in chats all the time with the more rake is better stuff. I assume he didn't lose his mind over that. Yes, it is. It's the Hall of Famer, Max Sawyer. In the chat, people, be excited. Your life is finally complete. So Daniel kind of lost it and threatened the guy. I mean, he doesn't know who this person really is, but he said the guy's name and talked about very graphically what he was going to physically do to this guy with things that were, I think some people are calling them homophobic. I don't know if it's fair to say that or not. I won't characterize it either way. I think that's for each person.
Meanwhile, we have David Jacobin, or whatever his last name is. Sorry, David Jacobo, with Ace King off. He's going to just win this hand probably, but he's going to get it through. Yeah. And this is going to be the second time in a row that Harry has opened from this position and gotten shoved on by David. I wonder if that has any sort of subtle subconscious effect on Harry.
It'll be interesting to see, if Harry stops doing this, because he did it with 8-9 last time, right? So he's basically just anything even sort of reasonable.
Hey, Alex Stasiak with aces, and nobody has even close to a hand, so that's just unfortunate.
It's too bad.
Anyway, continue your story.
Oh, yeah. So Daniel spent a solid minute threatening this person and saying all the things he was going to do, take this guy's teeth, knock him out, and then shove him up his butt. Like, really, it got a little weird, honestly. And it was just so angry. It was bad for Daniel's brand and image. And he got banned from Twitter as a result. And Doug Polk made a very funny video about it.
Twitch, banned from Twitch. I think he's still out on Twitter.
Sorry. You're right. Thank you. Twa. He got banned from Twa.
One of those Twas.
Martin may have some nefarious thoughts here with the Jack-9 suited.
By the way, David opening the Queen-6 with no stack at all, really.
This has been David's MO though, Grant. He's been opening when he's really short with crappy hands.
Well, in a way, it can be very effective because the conventional thinking is that represents a lot of strength. So maybe David is trying to tap into that a little bit.
I think mostly it's worked. By the way, as this has all been going, Abanov has just been dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. He's going to need Harry Lodge to put some pressure on right now.
Well, Harry Lodge is going to probably end up getting it in with him. He does have live spades against the aces, but I don't see a fold coming from Harry Lodge when Abanov inevitably shoves.
No way. For 6.5 blinds, 7.5 blinds after putting in 2 already, there's no way he's going to fold ace-9 suited. It's way too good. Way too good. Insta call. Well, last time in this spot,
well, he's going to need some running back doors. There's one of them, not the best one.
Not great.
It's got to be a 9.
2 outer. Nope. The board did pair, though.
So that's a nice double up for Abanov. He did. He got all the way back to maybe his peak here.
Once again, the stack sizes are just so interesting. Wow. Look at the setup, by the way. Ace, queen, 10s, and 9s. I think Alec is going to be able to get away from his 9s because Martin's got the ace, queen.
Well, Harry could flat, hoping that David, goes for it in the big blind, knowing David's proclivities. That's a possibility. Ooh, a limp from Martin. This is different.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Terrifying. But you got 10s. It just doesn't matter, right?
Oh, it just moves it in. He's like, if you want to do it, let's do it.
You got aces. You got aces. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
And what do you do?
I'm not going to let you check shove on me with. I think you call. I call. The other stacks aren't wildly different than Martin's anymore. There's nothing to be laddering for. I think you play to win the tournament. That's what I do. What do you do? Wow, he folds. Do you call there or do you fold?
I think I probably end up folding with 20 bigs there, knowing that Harry is aggressive, but he doesn't seem like a bad player. So his range is going to be pocket pairs and ace king mostly, right?
I think he can have ace jack there.
Maybe he can have ace jack, but we're not sure. I'm sure about the other ones that those are at least potentially in his range. I'm not 100% sure about ace jack. I feel a little weird about calling.
I don't hate taking the flip there anyway with ace queen. We win. We're the big chip leader now. Like it really gives us a chance to win this tournament. It also neutralizes Harry a bit, who's going to keep pushing us around otherwise. I like taking the flip.
I think somebody just suggested banning my mustache, which I'm surprised it's the first reference to the stash, the old quarantine stash. It's here to stay. I look beautiful.
Okay. You look better now than you did, about 3 weeks ago. I'll say that.
Thank you.
Here we go, by the way. 9s against Jack 8 suited.
And Jack and an 8 on the flop.
2 back doors, though.
And a
there's
9 on the turn. Wow.
2 outs. 2 outs. This is crazy. So many times we see this.
It's a heart.
Man. It can't. A heart is, well, it could be a Jack of hearts, but it's a 7. We are down to 4. Man.
Wow. And that was.
It probably is. I'm sure it's normal, Grant, but it keeps feeling like the person behind takes the lead and then gets slammed on the turn of the river
really
every time, it feels like.
Well, now we're in a
I'm sure
situation
sample size thing.
where the next payout is $127,000, and the payout after that is $177,000. We're talking about real money, like pay for everything for a year if you want to spend a lot of money type of money. Like, it's pretty good.
Sure. Of course, I assume the guys who are playing this are playing all the events or many of the events, and they're probably going to, winning 127K, though, will cover your entire series and more. Interesting turn card here.
Abhinav with 2 pair.
Abhinav.
Not much going on for Harry.
Abhinav leads on that card. That's a weird lead.
Well, he doesn't have to deal with any sort of fear. Just gets to win.
That's true. That's true.
Ace King is the only real hand here. But Harry Lodge is lodging it up.
Yeah, he is. Harry, I think, still has the whole table covered. Maybe now he just doesn't. He's got almost 50% of the chips in play, though. And let's see if he just is able to successfully run over the table.
Alex is going with the
blind shove.
That's just a large shove. Is that
he just doesn't?
I'm sure
doesn't want to get shoved on.
I'm sure that from a GTO perspective, that's perfectly fine. It just doesn't feel like overall the best idea. It feels a little fear-based to me.
Absolutely. Like I think Alex should be opening normally and hoping that Harry shoves on him, calling, and then usually being around 70%. You know?
Or more. Could be more.
Yeah, you're right. It could be 85%. Yeah, you just take away everyone's ability to 3-bet. It seems crazy when you've got a hand that's a no-brainer call. Does that mean Alec is going to shove every time he opens from here on out now? When he has like 20,
it might be a Jacks, 10s, and Ace King shove type guy.
Well, that's going to be problematic.
Yeah.
Harry's going to eat him alive if he's doing stuff like that, I think.
Well, Harry's a massive favorite to win pretty much no matter what at this point, just based on chip stack, but also based on style of play. And it seems like a style of play that also comes with a strong degree of intelligence and thought behind it. So I think these guys are in trouble against Harry Lodge here.
Yeah. Thurston Parhar asks, Jack 8 suited isn't supposed to be a jam there, right? Do you remember how much the jam was for? How many blinds?
I think it was 10 blinds, maybe 11.
It was from the cutoff, right?
Yeah.
It's probable. I think if we looked it up on Snapshot, it would be okay, but just barely. Like, I don't think Jack 7 is a jam. I would guess Jack 8 probably is a jam from the cutoff for 10 blinds.
But
close. I wouldn't do it.
Either
honestly.
way, either way, it's close. It's like on the margins.
I feel like, unless you're clearly the worst player at the table, Snapshot can throw itself off a bridge for stuff like that. Like if I'm one of the worst players at the table anyway, fine, do the GTO stuff. Otherwise, exploit, especially in these types of situations, right?
Hey, speaking of situations, I think Harry's about to double up Martin.
Yeah, this could be huge. Martin could.
Oh, just the 10 now.
4 outs for all the chips, pretty much.
If it's a 10,
would be so devastating.
This game is over, but no.
Yeah.
Martin gets the double. He's back to where he was at one point. And Harry can't quite. Oh, 7.1 million, says Thurston Parhar with 500K blinds. That is a bit much. That's quite a big shove.
That seems like too much. I definitely wouldn't be shoving that personally in that spot. Especially as we're seeing like situationally. Yeah.
So and it says from hijack, not from cutoff. So even so.
Oh, that sounds like a bad play.
Yeah. And now Martin's opening it up here. I think he's going to get the 3-bet from Harry.
Me too. And Martin's going to go right back to that sort of planet hell of just feeling like he's getting 3-bet all the time and picked on.
At least life was easier when he had 8 million, He didn't have to put himself in all these marginal spots against Harry when the ICM was really scary. Back then, he was free, you know? He could just shove, feel okay about it.
Well, we're going to learn a little bit about Martin right now, because if he folds this hand, that means he's been a little cowed by Harry's 3-bet.
Absolutely.
Like, this is a clear open.
All right.
Okay,
He still got it.
Good.
He still got it.
Good. I'm glad to see it.
Alec making the suited connector call out of the small blind.
Ugh, with not many blinds, with under 20 blinds.
He's out flopped too, and he's going to have to call one time no matter what. Once you decide to call with this hand, you cannot fold this flop.
Yeah. Last time in the spot, though, he did turn trip 8s, so maybe he can make the magic happen again.
Check back with the queen, and that ace is not what Martin wanted to see when he decided to check back the queen.
Yeah.
It feels like that check back was designed for Harry, and he applied it to Alec, you know? Like, Alec hasn't really shown a lot of speed so far, but Martin's been in a lot of pots against Harry where you would expect maybe Harry's going to stab the turn no matter what. And look at this. Alec gets there on the end.
Oh, Martin's going to be so upset with himself that he didn't bet flop or turn. Although he only would have bet one of those streets, so maybe he's getting called anyway, but at least it's cheap.
He might have lost about the same this way. Maybe even lost less, depending on if he decided to hero the river.
Zach Lou says from Snap Shove, 14 blinds from the hijack. It's Jack 9 suited plus, so Jack 8 doesn't even fall within the computer's, mandated shove spot. So,
mandated, huh? The computer's mandate now. We're at that stage
what the computer says.
The AI revolution is there, and we're screwed, I guess.
We are screwed. Thank you for looking that up, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach, how you feeling? Your final hope. Alec did get the win in that pot with a miracle river. Must feel good. Look at Harry, by the way, 3-8, Grant. I love it. It warms my heart.
Well, I don't know. Martin's from Argentina, and some people define South and North America as the same thing.
Really? Do they?
No.
They call South America North America.
I mean, I'm sure there's some people who don't understand the difference, but for the purposes of your bet, I think you're safe.
I do too. Thank you, though, for clearing that up.
Yeah.
Harry outflops him. And so do you want to bet here to deny equity or just check because the board is not your friend?
I want to bet. If it's an ace queen board and I have a queen, it's a different story. I think the equity denial is extremely valuable when the average stack is as it is here. So
yeah.
I think equity denial is far more valuable at this stage in the tournament than it is in the earlier stages where stacks are super deep. And we get the check call from the queen 10, by the way.
Wow. So weird. Harry's got to think like most of the time at best he's chopping now, right?
Yeah, I would guess. Maybe Martin can have some pocket pairs below the 8.
Yeah. Pocket 5s kind of a thing once in a while. But mostly you're chopping or he's got quads, right? And he leads. I guess Harry has to call, right? He just has to. 2 blinds. There's just no folding.
I mean, Martin's repping an ace, which is hard to have because it was a limped pot and he didn't bet the flop. And now he can't rep an ace.
Wow.
We're
Martin
now
has the second nuts.
Yeah, Martin
second nuts.
Doesn't need to rep an ace. He's got the second nuts with quad aces and a queen.
But wait a second. If Martin checks, Harry could just move him in and Martin has to fold anything that isn't a king, right? Harry's got way more kings than Martin does. Way more kings. I think Harry should move him in. Just be like, I'm taking the spot, bro.
I don't know. I would love to see that because I would love to see what Martin does with the queen here.
I predict Martin folds with the queen.
Harry does bet. He bets tiny.
Tiny.
That's an easy call with the queen, yeah.
Yeah. What was he even trying to get? What was he trying to fold out? I guess just like weird jack high bluffs on the turn.
Chops. He was putting Martin on a pair below the 8, which now is chopping. So trying to get the free chop out of there.
I don't think they're folding. I don't think Martin would be folding though for that much. Well, maybe he would. Maybe he would if he figures like a king or a queen could be betting.
If you're Harry and you think the majority of the time it's a chop, it's worth a little shot like that. Meanwhile,
sure, that's fair.
Meanwhile, Alec takes one from Harry with the 9.
Zach Lou's favorite player, Alec. the Canadian caboose is what they call.
That means he's not doing so well, and then finally the rest of the train crashes and he's at the front. Is that Is that how that works from a poker perspective, poker tournament narrative?
I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying.
You call them the caboose. I'm trying to think of a way that's good in a poker tournament.
It just means it's not good. It's just not.
Oh, okay. It's just bad.
You're part of the train. That's
so
the good thing.
That's kind of like
locomotion is happening.
That's kind of like if Dikembe Mutombo's nickname was like Dikembe the piece of shit Mutombo or something. It's just like, yeah, just like a bad nickname.
So Abhinav is going to be spared the flip here. It looks like because I'm sure Alec is going to 3-bet. Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be spared the flip if you're going to win.
Understood, but Abhinav's been playing carefully, so I think, he would have preferred to move in over Alex open with pocket fives and just take it down, I'm sure. But instead, none of that gets done.
Well, I think we're going to have a likely chop here. Probably going to be a shove.
I don't know if Alex is going to call. Alec may not call.
Yeah, Abhinav has been tight, and this is certainly a call. All the calculators in your pocket say call, but Abhinav has been tight.
The thing is, for Alec, if he loses this pot, now he's usually...
he might lose this pot. He really might lose this pot.
He's going to be in 4th place if he loses. Here we go. Is it red? Is it a 3? Oh,
nope.
Safe. Oh, my God. Wait, he won the pot.
Yeah.
Alec won the pot. The 5 place.
The 5 somehow played. And Zach
Lou.
Oh,
my gosh.
Zach Lou is laughing all the way to the bank right now.
How sick is that to go from 2 hearts on the flop to the 5 playing?
That's pretty good.
Oh, wow. Incredible. I still feel good, though, about, how this is all going down in terms of my bet with Zach. I got 2 players. He's only has 1.
Meanwhile, you guys are betting
crazy.
You guys are betting a total of $25, and the next payout in this tournament is $177,000.
Yeah, but to these high rollers, it's like nothing to them anyway. That was a crazy run out. We've seen some crazy hands.
We have.
The quad aces hand was pretty nuts too, the way that was played. And now Alec has decided to start putting pressure on. I love it.
Martin is in a weird spot with King 5. I mean, you could just flat. Stack sizes are now awkward for a 3-bet.
I mean, he can make it 4 million. He doesn't have to go really big.
Yeah. He does flat, and I imagine Alec's going to continue on a board like this, which is relatively range neutral.
Yep. And, I mean, what can Martin do here? He has 2 bad back doors, basically, and then a bad over. He can't really call.
Hey, guys, the good news is after this tournament is over, assuming everything goes according to plan, we have more action for you. We have the opener, which was the $100 buy-in with 30,000 entrants. That's going to be finishing up tonight.
Yep. And
by the way, we had a call from Martin. Martin floated.
I know,
worth talking about.
It's pretty great. And now I assume he's going to bet this turn since he floated instead of trying to take his showdown value. Great. And Martin takes the chip lead.
Now, do you think there was a combinatorial reason for that float, or do you think it was like it's time to float?
I think it was... I don't think there was a combinatorial reason. I think it was I have like weak back doors. I have a king high. Sometimes it's good. This board is range neutral. I'm in position. It's enough. I guess that's a little combinatorial.
Well, it worked out quite well.
It sure did. And Martin now, the thing I like, all 3 of these players are kind of going for it when they have the chip lead. They're all trying to push each other around. And with the money jumps and stuff, we're going to see some really fun, I think, 3-way action. Really, in contrast to our last final table, where when we got down to 3, no one wanted to put a chip in the pot.
Yep, these guys are really going for it. It's fun to see.
It's a bigger buy-in.
It is not actually. That was a $1,500 buy-in. This is $1,111.
Oh my gosh! Well, I take everything back. This one though is there's some charity involved, so maybe these guys
the charitable ones are also the aggros.
Put on a good show.
Little equity denying stab here from Harry.
It works. Man, it's just so interesting how at these final tables the chip lead just gets passed around, Harry was the overwhelming chip leader for a while, then Alec was the chip leader. Now Martin is. He's got a significant chip lead on the other 2.
And Alec is counting on Martin to try to wield those chips right here with the ace-queen limp.
Pretty interesting. He raised the 7-deuce off. I know he's the chip leader when he did, but he raised the 7-deuce off, and he's limping the ace-queen.
Didn't quite work out. He did flop well, but unfortunately for him, Martin has nothing at all.
Yeah.
Gonna let it go. And as we can see, those little numbers by the players' avatars, that's their VPIP. We learned that last time. Look at Harry's.
Yeah.
54. Pretty intense.
Everyone can see it, too. It's pretty crazy to know that everyone can see your VPIP number at all times,
Yeah, do you think that causes adjustments? I'm sure it does.
It has to. It has to. By the way, if you click on that number, I think you get more information, too. Like, it gives you more data on the player, too. I bet I saw someone doing that at one point. Reasonable flop for Martin.
Not terrible, certainly. Definitely terrible for Harry.
The Schwartz is asking, is 3x the new 2.2x? In tournaments, it really isn't. Mostly you'll see really small raises as you get later in tournaments. Grant, you've seen a lot of
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when you see a blind versus blind raise, you do expect it to be 3x or bigger, especially when the small blind is raising the big blind. Maybe you'll see 3.5x in that scenario. If the small blind limps, the big blind will probably 3x it or so, just because of the amount of chips already in there, and for the small blind, the out-of-position nature of the hand. It feels foolish to 2.2x from small to big with basically no fold equity when you're going to have to be out of position the entire time. So the majority of good tournament players these days are going higher than 3x small to big, but keeping it around 2.2, some min for opening from the field. But of course, we're three-handed now, so we're seeing a lot more small blind opens.
Yeah, when I'm small blind to big blind, before we get to end game stuff where the blinds are huge, I'm usually 4xing from the small blind and 3.5xing from the big blind, usually. For all the reasons you just said.
That said, I would expect that when we see an open on the button here, it's going to be a min or a min plus most of the time. I haven't noticed it not being. Maybe I missed something.
No, I haven't noticed that either, but we're going to be looking now. So, really nothing for anyone here. So who wants it more, Grant? Probably the big stack usually is just going to have an advantage.
Yeah, but you know Harry wants it more. It's, as far as desire is concerned, Harry is the king. That's a great nickname.
King of Desire?
That's a great nickname. The King of Desire. Meanwhile, Martin turns open-ended. The King of Desire turns a gut shot.
Harry turns a gut. Yeah, exactly. The King of Desire turns a gut shot to the nuts, too. We might get a little action here. I assume Martin isn't going to bet very big. But I expect him to bet, yeah. There we go. So what do you think as Harry? I guess we can just call for one blind a lot. It's fine, right?
Harry's going to raise. You know Harry's going to raise.
Yeah, he's probably going to raise.
He's like, this is one of my raising.
Okay in position.
This is one of my raising combos. I'm Harry freaking Lodge. Oh, no, he folded.
Oh.
Wow, that's surprising.
He also blocks the nuts with the 6, so you would think he would at least call if not raise. Wow.
What a day! What an auspicious day for Harry. We made fun of his name with terrible British accents, and then we nicknamed him the King of Desire. That's a wonderful day by anybody's account.
Harry Lodge. I hope he really takes that on too. The King of Desire.
And the Canadian caboose, as pointed out by Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
Zero.
That's right. By the way, you notice that Martin did in fact min open from the button, because he's in position and no one else has voluntarily put chips in the pot.
And as outflopped Alec, who had a very pretty big blind defend hand with the King Jack of Hearts.
Yeah. Boy, Alec's going to be in some interesting spots. Alec and Harry both now, as they're just like between 20 and 25 blinds here. Both of them are. And once again, we'll see if Martin's going to try and push them around.
Harry does not open there. Interesting.
Huh.
Maybe Harry has decided that Martin changed gears and is going to fight back here.
Maybe. I mean, the money jumps are now we're finally in the truly big money jumps, right? Now is a time when, I mean, Harry's the short stack anyway, but I could see someone deciding to make a tight fold right around now, when we're three-handed. And you're like, well, if the other guy busts first, it's a really big difference.
I mean, yeah, the money jump is
$70,000 difference.
It's like a nice German car right there.
Yeah.
That's the money jump.
With cup holders, with like the good cup holders.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't hold any sort of beverage that costs less than $7.
That's right. They reject any non-$7 beverage.
Yeah.
So let's see if I assume Martin's just going to bet this with his range advantage, and that should be that. Let's see.
Yep.
Yep. Seems like the obvious play. He makes it, and the rich get richer. He's up to almost 30 million now.
And the blinds are up, so the pressure is on Harry and Alec here. Harry especially.
Yeah.
15 blinds
Well,
remaining.
He's had chips for so long, and now he's got 15 blinds. Zach Lou reminds us that BMWs have terrible cup holders.
Well, sorry, Zach. Sorry we weren't willing to talk about, Maseratis on the stream. We want to include the lay people, okay? Maybe your lifestyle includes, the super high-end cup holders, but we can't all afford those, Zach, so.
Zach, who wanted to make a $10 bet with me on the stream.
Yeah.
He's such a high roller. Double gutter for Martin and a pair and a gutter for Alec.
Yeah.
This could get interesting.
I expect a bet.
Wow, a 10 would be just a devastating card for Alec. It's going to be hard for him to get away from that. But an 8 is a good card. In that,
you surprised to see
blood.
him both check on the flop there, Jonathan?
Yes, I am. I'm very surprised. I think this is maybe everyone's getting a little bit careful now as the money's getting real and we're down to 3. You can feel the bracelet. You can smell the metal of the bracelet, even though it's a virtual.
I think they might actually ship you a bracelet though.
They do. They ship you a bracelet. I think they should ship everyone who makes the final 3 a bracelet, where you get it in 30 minutes, so that way it's right there and you could smell it, and then they just take 2 of the bracelets back for whoever doesn't win.
That's smart. That's why you're an innovator.
Thank you. Harry Lodge would truly be the king of desire then.
I don't know what that means, but I like that you worked it in. I don't know.
Well, that's all that's going on here. Nice hand for Harry. Harry's really stopped raising in this spot, but this feels like a pretty good hand to start raising.
He could just shove here with his stack.
I guess he could. He probably, yeah. That's a great point. 15 blinds. We have seen Martin limp with good hands there, though. So Martin is going to have some calls there with the limp, but mostly that shove's going to get through, of course.
And I think he's going to get shoved on again when Martin inevitably opens and Alec inevitably moves in.
Yeah. Martin could actually just shove this king 8 and put the pressure on these guys.
You know what?
They only have 17 blinds.
That's a good point. That's probably the right move, actually. You get folds from hands like ace 4 and stuff like that some of the time by doing that.
I mean, Alec has to decide how much he cares about the money jump in that spot,
yeah.
right? I assume he's calling with ace queen, but we've seen guys fold in this exact spot last time on Wednesday when we did this because, it's like, well, Harry's got less chips and, I don't want to get in a flip here and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think maybe shoving would have been the right play with the king 8 there overall.
It can't be too bad to min open for sure. I'm sure that spot.
To threaten the loss of $70,000 sounds like a good idea.
I agree. And you have a king in your hand, some blockers, and you could see even getting called by ace queen there isn't so bad. You're a solid 40 some odd %. Anyway, Martin's going to put some pressure on this time. I have to believe.
The question is it a shove or is it just a raise? No, he checks. Interesting.
Wow.
Gets the very clean queen high flop. I think a check is in order here
that was really
on this board. Let Alec take a shot in the future. You don't fear very much here with king queen.
Right. There's the ace is the only overcard, and it's unlikely Alec has an ace. It feels like a great time to check back, and he does. Good job. Alec not falling for it though. No interest in bluffing here.
Auto check all the way down here. I guess that's too bad for Martin.
Martin could check one more time if he wants, but it's reasonable to start betting and building a pot with a hand this good.
Hoping Alec hit a 9.
Yeah. Or have just
checks back again.
Checks again.
Giving him all the rope.
Might work.
Nope.
Alec is not even considering
done with it. Just completely done with it. Not even considering it.
Yeah.
Good way to put it.
You win. I don't care. I know you're either going to bluff me with the worst hand or you got all the chips. I'm not messing around here. I'm going to try. It seems like Alec has now decided to wait for a real spot. Yeah, he insta-folds. Yeah, he was just done instantly with that hand. By the way, I want to revisit something. So Zacro BMWs have terrible cup holders. I did say you get the good cup holders, not the bad ones, right? So if you pay a little extra,
Zach's not
you get the
listening.
good cup
He's not
holder.
really fully listening. You
No,
understand?
I do, and it's disappointing, but it's not surprising. Anyway, here's Ari, the boy who lived.
The boy who lived?
Yeah, you don't know what I'm referring to there? Come
Is
on.
that a Harry Potter thing?
Of course it is. How do you not know that?
Stop it with the Harry Potter stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
You can
that's all
talk
I do.
about the King of Desire. You can't talk about Harry Potter, okay?
Oh, I'm gonna make that. I'm now making more Harry Potter references. This is happening.
I believe the people would prefer if you made more King of Desire references, but that's just my read on the situation, which is impeccable. So
Why can't I do both?
because of
Okay,
there's a finite amount of time.
We will die eventually. Entropy and all. So we got an ace in both the small and big blind. Let's see how they play this. They've been doing a lot of limping, but man, Martin could just shove it down his throat if he wants to here.
It will be interesting
be
to see
my
what Alec
default
does. What does Alec do when that happens, if it happens?
Fold. He's going to fold. That's what he's going to do. He's got too many chips to call it off, don't you think?
I mean, he started the hand with 20 bigs. I'm pretty sure all the calculators in the world would say you're supposed to call it off with ace-4, small to big.
Yeah, of course they would, but the calculators have no idea that you're 2 away from a bracelet. And Harry Lodge is shorter than you sitting on your right, you know? They're not thinking about that.
They don't know it's Harry Lodge, at least.
The calculators don't love. They can't love. You know? They've never felt the touch of a human, the warm touch.
But if
on
you
their
type
skin.
8008 and turn it upside down, then you get something interesting. Don't try that at home. It might shock you.
800. I think it's 8085, isn't it?
80085. Yeah.
Oh. You were probably just, they loved you when you were a kid in school, I'm sure, with those kind of tricks up your bag and your sleeve. The boy who limped. Chris, see, that's the greatest thing ever. Not the boy who lived, the boy who limped. That's really good. Oh, God. He needs to start limping right now.
He's not going to.
So Mike Lavin says, X-Nay on the Potteray. He's with you, Grand. The Schwartz 55 says, I miss Let the Drunk Fix It. So do we.
Everybody misses that.
Yeah, everyone who knows what it is. I miss it badly. That was the best part of my day back then.
Hot calculator tips in your area. Very good, Phoenix.
You guys are good. We have some serious freaking quality chat stuff happening right now. There it is. Oh, wait. Yeah, you turn it upside down, right? And then it works.
Yeah.
Oops.
But don't say it. Don't ruin the allure and the splendor.
Ari moves in, takes it down. All right, Martin, let's wield this big stack.
I believe it is time. Although if you're gonna play any sort of range-based game, this can still be a fold, obviously.
Yeah, it's totally fine to fold this, of course. Yeah, no question, and indeed he does. So, do you think that these guys are having like emotional times as they're playing here? I remember many years ago when I was in my first sort of big online spot where we were three-handed and it was for a World Series main event. There were 2 World Series main event seats up. And the other guy, we had locked up $2,700, but it was $12,000 basically. It was a 10K seat and $2K. And I remember like feeling like it was 2006 and my heart was going and I was really intense. I had to like calm myself down to and I got it together and it worked out fine, but I really had to go through something there. This is obviously for a lot more money and a lot of prestige. You think they're definitely feeling something, huh?
Well, everybody experiences it differently. For me, it's been a long time since I've been in a big online spot because, I haven't played outside the U.S. since Black Friday. But back in the day, I remember being just completely focused and calm when the play was happening. But when I ended up in an all-in situation, I would start to feel really kind of feel the butterflies like, oh, shit, I hope I don't lose this. This sucks. Yeah.
So you would want to not lose. Okay, got it.
Yeah. I had
feel something, though. I understand.
The human desire to not lose.
The Prince of Desire. Martin outflops Alec here, and I don't think Alec can fold just yet.
Ooh.
Whoa, and he
not
goes for
folding.
a weird check raise.
It works out really well.
Super weird check raise by Alec. but it did work out.
Well, at this
I don't know
stack
if I
depth, I
love
think you
that.
can rep all tens at this stack depth. You don't have to have a super
Yeah.
strong hand to check raise.
I mean, if Martin's going to fold second pair to that play, that check raise is amazing. You know, you're going to fold out almost everything.
Snap fold, by the way. Not just fold, but snap
Yeah.
fold. Meanwhile, I think Harry's supposed to call it off, but it really
Oh,
sucks
I
to
think
call it
he
off
is.
with this hand.
He's at least the short stack, so he doesn't have to like talk himself into, you know, I should fold and try and ladder up. There's no real laddering up spots. I think he's just
It's-
supposed to call it off here. Take
It's
his 54%.
$70,000, man. That $70,000 is weighing heavy. And he does
Just let it
fold.
go. I
Kind
mean,
of thought
a six
Harry
is a
was going to
terrible
call.
kicker, but
Kind of thought
I
Harry
mean,
was
if he
going
has
to call.
king queen, if he has king queen, he's going to call, right? Maybe he isn't, but like he should be calling with king queen. He should be calling with any kind of ace there,
Well, this is going to be
especially against the aggressive Martin.
this is going to be a disastrous combo if he folds there and shoves this hand into eights.
I mean, he really might.
I think he's going to.
It's completely reasonable to shove here with the king
Yeah.
five
I expect it.
as the short stack. There it is. He's definitely getting called. Here we go. We could be heads up in a second. If not, we're gonna have a very short stacked Alec. 5 for Harry. The boy who died.
Wow,
boy
that was
who
dark.
died.
That was very dark.
Well, he's not the boy who lived anymore. That's all.
And we
Well-
are close in chips, heads up. 246,000 goes to second, 343,000 to first, playing for almost $100,000 right here on the stream.
Wow. That is something else. This may be the biggest spot for both of these guys, for all we know. We're not really sure, but it certainly could be. It's not too often you find yourself playing for 100K heads up.
No, and often,
Obviously, a bigger spot. Yeah.
often you get to
please.
make a deal, you know, and World Series of Poker,
Yeah.
not so friendly
Yeah.
with the deals.
Clearly, it's a bigger spot for Zach Liu than for either of these players. He's
Oh,
got,
yeah.
you know, $10 of his own money on the line. He still stands to win 15. But still, for these players, it's a big deal, too. Chop Chop says these river slow rolls are ridiculously tilting. I've now given over to it personally, Chop Chop. I know I'm decided to enjoy it, but I understand what you're saying.
It's not for everybody.
It's just going to keep happening. So
And we have a
What a
straight
turn.
here, and the
and the
nut flush draw.
for Martin. Oh my gosh. This could be. I mean, can Martin fold to any kind of raise?
Martin
No.
could check raise.
Well, Alec ain't folding either. That is the bomb card of all bomb cards right there. That's the card that did it. Check back. And now, Alec missed so much value with that check back. Oh, no. Wow.
That really is going to hurt, yeah.
I can't believe he checked that back instead of trying to build a pot, also protecting against the club and charging clubs. I can't believe he checked it back. He had an opportunity to win a huge pot there. As we can see, he might have gotten a full double up. It's possible they get it in on the turn sometimes.
Now he's going to have
Probably
to
not, but
now he's going to have to
possible.
get heroed to get any money, and a hero seems unlikely for this size.
And Martin having the ace of clubs in his hand makes it a little bit harder too.
Yep.
Not impossible. He could decide to hero, but he'd rather have a different ace than this one.
Oh, he moves in.
Oh my God, we might get a double up anyway.
Oh, he calls it off. That was
Wow.
incredible.
Wow. Martin with the nut blocker decides to make the big move. And we go on break, and Martin has to live with that for 6 minutes.
Wow.
Grant.
That's
Unbelievable
rough one.
action.
well, that
Alec
is
with the
one
check
that is
back.
one way to go into break. As you guys see, there's the feed only on the screen there for the remainder of the break.
Wow. I'm just blown away by that. And now Alec has the overwhelming chip lead. Martin has less than 10 blinds. Oh,
You know,
my goodness.
I give Martin some credit for being willing to go for it there, you know. He had the right kind of hand to go for it. It would be better if he had the ace with a pair, so he blocked full houses. He could just hero then, but also if you're going to choose bluff combos, that would be a little bit better as far as blockers are concerned. But
Yeah.
man,
Did he need to go all in? He could have bluffed for a smaller amount and probably had the same amount of fold equity or nearly the same and saved a bunch of chips. I'm thinking.
yeah.
You know? Alec bet 4 million. Martin could have just made it, 11.
No, you're right.
Probably the same.
You're right. What do you think about Alex's call?
I think he has to call there. They're heads up. He checked back the turn. He's probably not beating value, but once in a while, Martin's going to show up with trip sixes there and be making a play. It can happen. Admittedly, I don't know. Besides that, that's the only value he can beat is trip sixes, though, right? I mean, he's losing to full houses. He's losing to clubs. But Seth Barr asked the same question. Should Alec be snap calling there? I think you're heads up. You're relatively short blinds-wise. I think you have to make that call, especially when we check it back on the turn. But I don't know, Grant. What do you think?
I think you probably have to call because you check back the turn specifically, although you're beating no value, of course. You're not up against trips here. I don't think too frequently.
I mean, if Martin had ace six exactly, he might check raise all in trying to get called by trip sixes.
Maybe.
Or trip sixes, maybe. But it seems unlikely. Like, it's just too dangerous. Why not just call? Also, this, like you said, the sizing was kind of big for Alec, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Merv Watson, I don't know if they have hand replay because we're in the U.S., but I can tell you this stream that we're doing is going to stay on YouTube. It's going to live on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch that hand again. You can also, I think, just back it up right now and watch it as it happened. Pretty easy. So you can check it out. So I got 3 minutes here. And after this, don't forget, we are actually going to move to the opener final table.
30,000 players played that thing.
It is unbesqueezable how many people played that thing.
Unbesqueezable. That is cringeworthy. That is a cringeworthy.
Unbesqueezable. Not de-squeezable. No one would say de-squeezable.
No, either way.
The opener is down to 10 players, so they are at a final table as well. So once this one's over, we're going to just switch over to that. We're going to do another final table here. Whew. Zach says, the check by Martin on the river, too. Would you check a flush? You might check it just because you're trying to induce.
Yeah.
Once in a while. But mostly you're going to bet. You're right. Mostly you're going to bet all your strong hands there.
To address...
I believe Martin probably... Yeah?
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I believe Martin probably is balanced to some degree there and does have some strong hands, too.
I think that's true. To address some earlier questions, Yellow Paco asks, how do you watch the event open-handed? You have to be special. You have to be invited.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there's very few people in the world who have access to this, but we're giving it to you.
Oh. Yeah, we get it and we pass it along because one of us is generous and the other one is miserly, and the generous one won this argument, basically. I think this is one of only 2 English language streams in the whole world, though, for these events. So that's it. So if you hate what we're saying, you can find it. There's one other guy who is streaming it out, Cards Up, on the same feed, but no one else has this feed in the world. So it's pretty cool.
And Wallig C says, what's up with Grant's mustache? Ellipses JK, thanks for the content. And I've never been more offended. That is incredibly offensive. I'm kidding.
What does JK mean? Like, just kill? Like, kill your mustache? Just kill it?
How would you even remove a mustache? Like, logistically, how do you do that? You have to get, like, some hedge trimmers?
I would love to see you remove your mustache with the hedge trimmers, and I am willing to pay for it right now. I got $100. I will bring you the hedge trimmers, and we will stream that live. But you have to do it till you're done, or you don't get the money. Obviously, you have to finish, and you have to do a good job.
I don't think I want to do it. I don't think I want to do it.
$200. You got me. $500.
I like the mustache
$500.
too much. No, the mustache is my personality now. I can't. I can't get rid of it.
That's why you don't want to do it? Just because you like your look? You're not worried about...
No. It's my personality. It's now my personality. Shaving, says Chris C. Like with what? Like shaving? What are you talking about? Like shaving points? That's cheating.
Yeah. Some people just say if you're trying harder when you're shaving points. John Calipari. That is not everyone's going to get that joke, but hey.
We're going to bring it back
Thanks for immortalizing.
Bring it back to the main feed here.
Yeah.
Because we're about to get back to the action.
All right. Oh, man. Martin goes from in great shape all the way. He finally really tries to wield the power of the big stack. It was a reasonable time to do it, but He got very unlucky. Not unlucky, actually. He only got unlucky that Alec turned such a strong hand.
Well, this is probably a fold for Martin unless he's just tilting.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should fold this.
It's not the one to go with. He limps, though. Interesting.
Wow. With the jack deuce off. Oh, it's got to be. It just sucks to limp a hand that bad and just get shoved on.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have done that. Well, King 9, he's going with it if Alec does something. But Alec could fold this hand. I know it's just 5 blinds, but yeah.
No, I think it's definitely a fold, and I like that he did it.
This might be it.
Well, this
here.
could be it. This feels like the one.
Martin will have about 40%, though. He'll have a shot. Assuming he goes with it. I expect him to.
He's got to go with it. He has to go with it. Doesn't he? Yes. There he goes. And now with a quick call.
Well,
here we go.
Just takes a win here and a little bit of luck in the future, and he could get back, but that is not a helpful flop.
No,
or turn.
He's 1 card away. Alec is 1 card away from the bracelet. It's going to come slow. That's the only thing I know.
It's a 7.
Oh!
He doesn't
Martin
get the
stays
bracelet.
alive.
Not yet. Martin's got life.
Wow. 1 card away. If Alec does not win this, he will be sadder than Zach Liu.
Then it would be $100,000. That would have been $100,000 7. Not entirely true because, of course, many other factors involved, but that's what people like to say.
And the bracelet. Let's not just forget the bracelet matters to a lot of these guys. You know, not to you. You don't care about prestige, Grant. We know that. But wow,
prestige is for the dirt. All
it
right.
really didn't occur to me that Martin was going to catch up there on the river. I thought it was over for sure. I was moving on mentally to the opener final table in my head already, but that's going to have to wait.
Yeah, do we have info on how many are left in the opener?
Last I looked, it was 10. I'll
Okay.
check as we continue on in this hand.
It is on a 30-minute delay, though. Keep in mind.
Oh, you are correct. So it's going to be probably more than 10 with the delay. Probably more like 14 or something. But we have that feed, I believe, so we'll be able to cut to it whenever we're ready. Wow. Martin's going to have to go with this, right? Seems like a great shove spot.
Oh, he just calls in the miracle card.
Perfect card. That's the greatest card in the world, right?
I mean, Alec shouldn't feel too great about the 8 when Martin puts more chips in this pot with that flop action, and Alec maybe even could get away from it. It's possible.
He could. But still, if you're going to make a straight, you'd rather have Alec make a pair rather than not, right?
Sure.
I mean,
sure. This is the better straight to make if you're Martin.
And there's no flush draws. I mean, this is just an amazing spot. Martin bet super tiny.
Interesting.
Alec has to call.
Interesting.
Alec really did have to call that super tiny bet. All right, time to go for value, Martin.
I expect a shove.
He could bet like half pot or 40% pot if he's trying to keep in 7s. But if he's trying to get value at a 9, he should just shove. There's the
You're right. He went half pot and snap fold from the 8.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Alec hated calling the turn, and if it was any more, he probably would have just folded. But 1 blind, he just felt he had to call. Ooh, here we go, man. Blinds are up.
15
1 double
for
up for
Martin.
Martin. He's the chip leader. He's the chip leader with 1 double up, Grant. This is very exciting. Oh, boy.
It would be a great comeback after that failed bluff. Wow.
Alec, what?
Just folded, huh?
Did he misclick? He
Could
must
be.
have misclicked, right?
Well, now he's got
It
queens.
was so fast.
He was rewarded with
I mean,
queens.
if he folds this one, then we know he's misclicking.
We're pretty sure.
Wow.
At least.
If he didn't misclick that last, yeah, you're right. He maybe just tightening up. He's like, I got to get in with a good hand, and queens is only the 3rd best. Well, I think there's going to be a re-raise this time.
Probably a shove, considering that Martin started the hand with 17 bigs.
Yeah. I mean, Martin should have less. Martin should have been probably just shoved on last hand, too. All right. If Martin can get a double up, he becomes the chip leader, but it'll be a close fight.
Everybody loves a comeback story, right? So
if Martin just shoves here, which I think he's going to do you call here as Alec?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so, too. But it sucks. You don't love it, but you just have to call, right?
At least it's not your tournament life. That part feels good.
Exactly. Yep.
Snap
There's
call.
the call in. Here we go. We're flipping for the whole thing. Alec can win again right now.
Ace
and
in the
he flops
window.
Good. Backdoor diamonds? Nope, not anymore. 2 outs. If it's red, it's over. It's red. It's over.
And that is a bracelet for Alex Stasiak and $381,000. It says that's more than it said before, but hey, cool, little bonus. Why not?
Nothing wrong with a little bonus. Wow, that was a great final table. Those guys really played hard.
Yeah. I really enjoyed watching Harry, the King of Desire. He was a very interesting player to watch. Very aggressive, but thoughtful too. It was cool. But congratulations to all of the players. It's a lot of money here that's been won. And pretty soon I think we're going to get, here's the stream. We've switched over. We are now 15 remaining in the opener, which is just an absurd tournament with 30,000 players. Oh, it looks like this is, in fact, not the opener. I've been proven incorrect. This is a screenshot of something else. But we'll be on the opener soon.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm watching, I believe, I'm watching play. You know the, maybe mute it for a second. Great.
And here we are. Here is the opener.
Hallelujah. Look at this. Look at the difference in the blinds here. 13 players left. I guess we had 29,000 players. We're going to see really big blinds at this point. And to pay $100 for a tournament and to win almost 300,000, that is a dream right there. That's a dream that pretty much never happens, but will happen to somebody tonight. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, there were 30,000 players in this event. Just an obscene amount of players.
Yeah. There's no getting around that. Just completely obscene. You're right. And here we go. Ace 10 for Falcasmo. That's a great name.
That it is.
Falcasmo's really thinking about it here. Seems like a pretty straightforward shove, though. What's going on, Grant? Why is Falcasmo timing out or something? This is
It
really
looks
strange.
like it to me because that's all I'm seeing here is a little Falcasmo action. That's what you've got in your stream as well?
Yeah, just timing out slowly. Nothing's happening. Just Falcasmo must be like having a timeout issue because this would have been a shovel. Oh, there it is. There's the shove.
Well,
9
this could
blinds
be
all
an
in.
ICM thing because there are 2 tables. Maybe Falcasmo was trying to wait until the very last second to just in case somebody busted at the other table.
you know what? That's got to be what it was, right?
Yeah.
Of course, that's what it was. There is a money jump. It's a $4,000 money jump. Why wouldn't you wait as long as possible? That makes perfect sense, actually.
But it was sure boring for us.
I hope we're not going to see too much more of that kind of play. But I understand why Falcasmo might do it and why other players might do it as well. It's can't be too bad. As we're looking here, we do have the massive, overwhelming chip leader at our table, Morolo, 318 million chips. Second place is on the flow with 188 million. So Morolo in pretty good shape here to go deep in this event, really deep in this event. Extra deep.
Well, I mean, you've already gone deep, right? If there's 12 players left and it started with 30,000, you've gone pretty deep.
You've gone pretty deep, but I'm talking about top 5, top 3. You know, when there's 13 players left, that's still a thing. I would say.
LaGreca asking how many players left here. You can see on the left there that it says so at the bottom of that little graphic, with 13 remaining. Also at the top of the actual table, there's words that say money jump, and then it has the next payout position, 12th, in parentheses there. And it looks like we're in the old waiting it out stage of the tournament.
Yeah, it does look like that. Hey, still in this event, by the way, is Pablo Silva, who's a Brazilian player who February 11th of this year won first place in the $10,000 Party Poker Millions event in South America for $1 million.
Wow.
And his total live earnings is 1.1 million. So like a life-changing score for him potentially. So he's still around too, and he's third in chips. So we might get to see someone who maybe isn't as cowed by the money as potentially some of the other players are, since he's just had such a big score, you know. Probably be much more interesting trying to win the event than laddering up and things like that would be my guess.
So we're really doing the laddering up here.
This is really brutal.
Very intense way.
I mean, this is where, like, should we just be hand for hand anytime there's a money jump? Is that, I mean, it's weird. We haven't seen this when we've been, 12-handed in our other streams.
Well, we haven't done a $100 tournament with $243,000 up top either.
You're right. I guess I can understand how that would happen a lot. But apparently everyone at this table is maybe even agreed. They may have talked about it in their chat even, that they're all going to use up all of their time each time, you know.
That is collusion.
Well, that's yep. It seems like they're colluding though, doesn't it? Shower time does fold. Well, yeah, I guess I fully expect Focasmo to take his look, Songjoy is asking GG Poker support if they're out there. Maybe Songjoy not enjoying this.
Well, I think there was something about the other table said earlier. I didn't quite catch it. One of the players said something about the other table. Maybe they're concerned about some sort of collusion at the other table that's going on, and that's why they've agreed to stall to try to figure that out and get support involved in that.
That makes more sense. Well, Morolo just asked what's going on, so hopefully someone will what's happening. So hopefully someone at the table will explain it, and we can see in the chat what they say. This is interesting.
That's an interesting use of the word interesting, Jonathan.
Thank you. Mike Lavin asks, it's cut off, but it looks like first place gets almost $300K and some kind of World Series Europe seat. That is correct. They get, I think it's a main event seat, right, Grant, or package?
Yeah, it's like a $15,000 package. The graphic just was too large to fit in the screen, but it includes World Series of Poker Europe $15,000 package, along with the $265,000, which is, many times $100. I can't quite do the math. It's tough to multiply by 100, but it's a lot times 100.
By the way, LaGreca says in the chat that Pablo Silva is Pabrits on PokerStars, up more than 1.2 million along with his live events. So he's a crusher who also just won $1 million in a tournament in February. So that's pretty good. So he might be the best player left.
Probably should be a reign of terror on all of these players once we get to the final table. They are not ready for that type of player, most likely. in this $100
most
tournament.
likely. And he's third in chips too, so he's got a good chance to make the final table and just put pressure on people all along the way. It'll be fun to watch. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see it. Of course, here's Lobie Puis in the small blind.
Yeah,
It's
Lobie
pretty
Puis.
Canadian.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like it for I don't know what reason I like it, but I do. Gonna move the queen 5 in. I don't think Falcasmo's gonna find the 10 blind call with queen 7.
No way. No chance. Seems like we may have moved past some of the stalling though, so maybe whatever it was got worked out.
We can hope.
I am definitely hoping, because I'm here for the action.
You can understand if there's some sort of implied collusion at the other table, and the next payout is $9,400, where first place is effectively $280,000. You'd want to make sure everything was sorted out.
Yep, I certainly agree. Whoa, and Marolo just open shoves. I guess no one has really more than 10 blinds except for Lobie Puis.
It's really just
Pretty
Marolo
reasonable.
and everybody else,
So we're going to learn something about Falcasmo right now, right? He's got less than 10 blinds. They're six-handed. Ace-Jack is supposed to be a call in this spot, especially with the amount of riches that are up top in this event, where the $4,000 money jump is so little compared to how much could be won down the road. This is how you start to separate yourself from the other small stacks.
Right.
Get yourself into contention. You really have to call here, but not everyone's going to, of course, because that 4K matters to people, and that's fair.
And Falcasmo lets it go. So I think Marolo maybe should just shove every hand at this table. I think that might be profitable.
I think you're right. And Marolo can afford to get called and lose and still be the chip leader in the tournament.
Yep.
So
it seems
just
like
shove everything.
It's really the only strategy, I think, for Marolo at this point.
I mean, I think these guys if they're only going to call ace queen plus and like nines plus, maybe eights plus, yeah, you just shove everything. Don't worry about it. You're six-handed. Who cares? Maybe you can fold the absolute, you can fold the bottom 10% of your range or something.
Sure.
Like shove everything else. Anything that's even vaguely pretty, you just go with. Falcasmo's got a pretty straightforward shove here. Yeah.
By the way, ShotSpa has like one blind.
Oh, really? Well, that's got to play into it a little bit. Why Falcasmo might.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's why he's folding, because of the one blind. Okay, that actually makes more sense than with the ace jack. That's a pretty straight ICM spot of like, if I fold, I almost always make $4,000. That's not as crazy then.
No.
But it depends on like what you care about then, and everyone's different. We're all in different places financially and mentally and emotionally and all that. But like some people are going to say $4,000. How about the $300,000? Like, let's do that.
And shower time going with it, obviously, with less than 4 blinds with ace queen.
I mean,
I think
if
ShotSpa's got a call here, right, with Jack 10. Yeah. Just have to.
I really think. I don't think ShotSpa is going to, but I think he has to. I think ShotSpa's going to find a fold, but
you're right.
Yep, there it is. You almost never get down to this many, to 1.5 blinds without folding Jack 10 in that spot. It's just like. I mean, Songjoy, I guess it would really cut down Songjoy's stack.
I think it's a fold because of the stack and the fold equity Songjoy wants to preserve for when Songjoy shoves.
Songjoy had like 17 blinds. It's a call. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe even 15 blinds. Probably even 15 blinds. It's a call.
And Marolo with ace king. Wonder now we're gonna find out what shower time is made of, I guess. Because shower time's got a pretty clear call out of the big blind here. Of course, ShotSpa still sitting there with 1 blind. But
ShotSpa, I think, is going to fold this too.
Yeah.
I think ShotSpa's just hoping someone else busts before he gets a chance to, before he has to put any chips in the pot. Let's find out. Yep. Shower time's definitely supposed to go with this hand.
Marolo not shoving, by the way. Marolo 2.5xing. Interesting.
Really weird. Really strange. Kind of obvious, actually. Feels really obvious after he shoved, against the whole table before. Still, shower time with 6 blinds and an ace. Probably just go with it anyway, right?
You're really supposed to.
I mean, maybe you know enough about Marolo that you can actually say he always has it. Why didn't he shove? I wish if he shoves, I can call. When he goes 2.5x, I can't.
I mean, what are this play is going to be informed by a lot of things here. I mean, what are the odds that other than Pablo Silva, this is the biggest spot of everybody else's poker tournament life in this $100 tournament?
It's possible. It's literally. I would say it's like at least 35% that everyone else combined. It's
Yeah.
you know.
Finally,
Shots finally
finds a hand, and Morolo gonna give the bad news here because ShotSpot's gonna need a 7 or a chop or some diamonds.
A lot of chops though. Well, not a lot. Some not that many chops. Actually.
No.
I'll take it back.
Maybe 25% chops or so.
Yeah, maybe not even that much. You're right. Shower time. I don't know why Shower Time's thinking about. Shower Time is maybe just fist pumping the fact that we may be getting a money jump here. It's a good flop for ace-8.
Oh, good turn for ace-7.
Yeah, of diamonds. Is it red? Nope.
It's an ace.
It's an ace, and that is not good enough.
Not a chop.
I got excited for a possible chop there for a second, and then my excitement waned. And we are down to 12. And here we go.
Now Morolo's back to the strategy. It's a good one.
Yeah. I think this is why Shower Time was able to fold the ace deuce, though, because Morolo finally didn't just shove in a spot which would be a natural shove, and it was too obvious. That was actually a pretty great fold by Shower Time.
We have a new player on the flow who's going to make it so Morolo can't employ the strategy anymore. On the flow with 242 million.
Both the two top stacks in the tournament at the same table with 2 left. It's going to be interesting to see if they mix it up or avoid each other. But you're right, Grant. Can't really imagine Morolo doing this kind of shoving if on the flow is still to act pre-flop.
That said, on the flow is going to have a really good hand to call if Morolo shoves. Like
it's true, but it's such a disaster.
You don't love picking up kings. You almost, if this is the biggest spot of your life, you almost don't want aces there. Not to say that you wouldn't call, but it's like it's scary. You know, that's how people think.
I guess. I've seen people act very upset when they've had kings in spots that to me feel like obvious. I'd be super excited if I was on the flow to have 2 10s if the guy was shoving a lot, even though it would mean my life sometimes.
It would mean like a total of 25% of the time probably you're getting 13K instead of being in second in this massive tournament, which, that hurts. That feeling hurts.
But the other 75% of the time I'm the overwhelming chip leader in this tournament. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you got to take the odds, but we are risk averse as a species.
Sometimes.
I mean, I think it's borne out in poker tournaments time and time again that the risk aversion of people just ends up with excessive passivity, and I think we might be seeing a little bit of that here.
That's fair. Focasmo, I think this is just a super straightforward shove with 6 blinds, Focas, but nope. No interest.
I don't see Songjoy calling it off with this hand.
How great is it to be Morolo and just be able to just keep shoving and you just pick up, 21 million. Every shove, 21 million. It just feels so good.
That reminds me, 2 years ago at the World Series of Poker, I was playing their first try at the Big Blind Ante. It was a 3K Big Blind Ante, and we were on the bubble. And this guy who was the massive chip leader kept shoving every hand, and he was a very funny guy, and he kept being like, $4,500 is the min payout, right? That's like, you could buy like a used car for that, right? That's serious money, you guys. $4,500? Wow. I wish I could have $4,500 on just a day when they just give it to you. He just kept shoving and saying stuff like that. It was very good. It was really funny.
That's good. If you notice, while we've been talking, Morolo has moved tables. So on the flow is now the big chip boss at this table.
Getting shoved into and makes the fold there for 4 blinds. I think that's a call.
Whoa.
Pretty sure that's a call.
Definitely a call. No question. I think that tells us something about on the flow, that on the flow is definitely not a pro and probably not experienced in this spot, or the money is very meaningful to on the flow. We're going to see a lot of tight play.
Well, let's see how tight Focasmo is going to be. We did say Focasmo on our first hand, shove ace 10, so I imagine we're seeing the 2 10s go in here with 5.6 blinds, and we do. Shower time.
Finally finds a hand. I don't know. Focasmo's folding so much, we probably have to fold this ace deuce.
Yeah, I think folding the ace deuce is close either way because it's basically for our tournament.
Yeah. We only have 6.5 blinds and we're an ace deuce suited, though. It can't be that bad to go. But I feel you. Lobby Pewis can't call here, I don't think, because it's too much of his stack or her stack. Its stack, their stack.
It's
to know,
hard.
really.
Well, we'll know at the final table because at the final
Yeah, we will.
table, the names are revealed.
I wish it was Toby Lewis, but the person has a Canadian flag, so it's very unlikely to be actually Toby Lewis.
Maybe
That's
he's
the only
on
thing I do
vacation.
know.
On vacation in the great Yukon.
Maybe he is. Boy, these short stacks are just crazy. Songjoy really should be, in fact, just shoving here. Definitely should be shoving here with the Queen 5 suited. In fact, with the blind and ante coming along, but nope.
We see the average stack in this tournament is 14.5 blinds, and Marolo is really tilting those numbers. So like, there's not many chips among the field. There's going to be a quick consolidation pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, and I think when we get to the final table, it's going to go fast anyway because we're just relatively short. On the Flow's got a super straightforward shove here. And looks like 20,000 going to be coming on the Flow's way. Lobby Pewis, though, taking his time, or her time a little bit anyway. Now there's $5,300 to be won if someone else wants to bust first.
That's real money.
Sure. All you have to do is wait a few seconds before you click fold. It's not crazy.
Shower time going to be moving in here, I imagine. Songjoy should be calling. We'll see.
I agree. I don't think Songjoy will call, but I think Songjoy should call. But I feel like all these people are just going to make like tight folds all the way. That's my strong suspicion. Lobby View is just absolutely stalling here.
Yep.
We lose one more person. We'll be out at the final table, though. We'll have no more of this.
There will be no more reason to stall, but I've seen people stall during hand for hand before. Anything is possible. Some people don't understand why they're stalling.
But if they're at the final table, there's take a real lack of understanding what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
But you're right, hand for hand. I see that too.
And there is the fold.
Does fold. Yep. I've just played with these kinds of players enough to know that we're just going to see fold after, like, for example, on the Flow is going to shove and Lobby Pewis is going to fold King Jack. That's what's going to happen.
It seems like you are probably correct.
Yeah. But if Lobby wanted to win this tournament, Lobby would be getting it in right here.
I mean, Lobby wants to win the tournament, but that $5,300 feels a lot more reachable.
Well, Lobby wants the $5,300 a lot more than Lobby wants to win the tournament. How about that? He wants both, or she wants both, but Lobby is like, well, I mean, I'm sure if Lobby had Ace King, Lobby would go with it. I hope Ace Jack, Lobby would go with it, but I'm not sure Lobby's even going with a hand like Ace Jack there.
Yellow Paco asking if we feel the big stack should be shoving with almost any ace in these situations just to bully the medium stacks. I think, based on what we've seen on the Flow, should shove literally every hand until the final table.
I don't know if I completely agree because everyone's short enough that eventually they're going to be forced to call. But I think, I think like 85% of hands or something like that is probably right.
Yeah.
So we're pretty close here. Like, I think the deuce sevens of the world we can fold as on the Flow, or 8-3. But maybe you're right. If these guys are going to be this tight, maybe we can actually just close our eyes and push everything and not worry about it. They're all in this. They've all created this ICM situation together by being so tight, because all four of these players are being tight except for on the Flow. Like, it means like it just gives on the Flow more opportunities to potentially win.
Well,
on the Flow's going to have to call this shove.
Songjoy is not going to be folding this one.
Right. And on the Flow is going to call because it's 2 blinds. Well, I assume. I guess I shouldn't say it's for sure, but it would be crazy to fold 4-8 suited for 2 more blinds.
We've seen things though.
We really have. We've been in the darkness for a long time. All right, let's see if Songjoy goes for the min raise.
the limp would be a little pretty cagey.
Oh, the min raise would be pretty amazing too. But don't do it. It's just a shove.
There you go. Okay.
There we go.
And we should be seeing a call out of on the Flow.
We really, really have to see a call here. I don't know if we're going to, but math demands a call. It's 20 million to win, or 22 million to win 52 million. You're suited. You could be up against a whole range of hands that you are 40% against.
And there's the call. All right. Likely double up here.
Took a second.
Likely double up here for Songjoy to 7.5 blinds, but A 7 is a straight now. Just a
That's
7.
It, though. Just a 7. This would be devastating. Can't be. Can't happen. It
Nope.
can't happen. Okay, it didn't happen. Oh, man, can you imagine? Songjoy gets the much-needed double up and is now second in chips at the table and has another hand.
This time not going to get called.
Yeah. But adding that 20 million to Songjoy's stack is going to be super nice. Going to be up back over 9 blinds. And at this table, that's like a legit stack somehow. There's only 4 people in this tournament who have more than 7.5 blinds right now. That's pretty nuts. Marolo on the other table has 49 blinds.
Pablo Silva, 16.8 bigs over there, waiting for everybody.
Shower Time's just been folding.
Well, Shower Time should fold this hand.
Well, yeah. Shower Time should fold this hand.
As should Lobby Puis. Is it Puis or Puis?
Oh, it's Puis for sure, like Lewis. Puis.
Puis like Lewis. Is there a...
Yeah.
So Lewis? When you
What?
say Lewis, it sounds like Puis, not like Puis.
You sound like Puis.
Well, that is one of the most hurtful things anybody's ever said to me.
Good. Good.
Shower Time should be shoving this hand.
Yeah. But Shower Time will not be shoving this hand. I'm just going to call it right now.
I hope you're wrong.
Lobby Puis should be getting in with Lobby Puis' hand no matter what, unless there's 2 all-ins in front of Lobby Puis. Should be getting in with the King 10 suited. Yeah, see? I told you Shower Time was going to fold. On the flow might move in. And I don't know if Lobby's going with it, man.
I like that On the Flow is
hope
doing
so.
this. I like that based on what we've seen that On the Flow is doing this. I know it's a terrible hand.
If Lobby folds this, then it's any 2 cards from here on out, I would say. I mean, obviously, On the Flow can't see that Lobby's folding King 10 suited, but like, I guess Lobby's folding.
It seems like, I mean,
He's folding. She's
trying
folding.
to talk
There it is.
Trying to talk themselves into making the right call, but can't do it.
I mean, this is just unbelievable. Okay, I'm back on your side of like just move in with any 2. Who cares about top 85%? 100% move in every time. They're just going to keep folding.
Yellow Paco asking if these events are running on GG Poker only. Yeah, from the remainder of the World Series events are just on GG. They had some on WSOP.com for American players previously. And now we're playing on GG for the rest of the month and a half or so of the rest of the series.
Is the U.S. completely done, Grant? I didn't know that.
I think
they were.
I think they are. Maybe I'm wrong.
Like the Negreanu hand from 2 days ago was in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
U.S. based thing. So I know that they overlapped. So it's going to end soon, but I don't know that it's completely over yet. Anyway, that's something that anyone can Google. Hey, Shower Time finally moved in. I mean, with a hand that, of course, they should, but still, I'm excited.
No, it's good to see.
It really is. You can really see how, based on this kind of dynamic, when you're in a tournament where this is the dynamic, there's like the 3 or 4 big stacks. If they're all going for it, it's not going to work out for all of them. But almost always one of them is going to win the tournament or finish in the top 2 when they go for it. And, because they just give themselves such a chance. Songjoy cannot fold this one. Songjoy will not be folding this
I really hope Songjoy does not fold this one.
Definitely not. There's no way Songjoy is going to fold this one. I feel strongly. Surely. There you go. Kevin Mather says, yeah, the event's running on GG. Oh, run through July 31st. That must be
the WSOP.com events. He would know.
So yeah, he
Kev
certainly
Math.
would.
He is the authority on this stuff.
On everything poker related. If it's everything. You want to know what Dave's All-American Dave's is serving? He'll tell you. He knows. He knows what it costs. He knows how much it takes. So Songjoy does get it in here with the ace-king suited.
Well, this could be real confirmation bias here if Songjoy loses. It's like, yeah, I should have just folded.
I mean, the percentages aren't too bad.
Now they are.
On the flow.
Just a queen or a 6 now.
Yep. Seen a lot of heartbreak on this last card tonight.
Not this time.
A lot of heartbreak, but yep. Big double.
All of a sudden, Songjoy has quite a stack compared to the rest of the field here.
Songjoy picked up 3 big hands and got 2 doubles, and the blinds the other time, and here we go.
And now Songjoy's in second place, by the way. Oh, it looks like third because another player also at their table had to come up. But Falcasmo should be calling it off here, I think. 3.7 bigs.
I don't think Falcasmo's going to, but I think Falcasmo should be. Yeah, there you go. This is just squeezing for $5,300 right now.
I don't know. Maybe against Lobi Puis's range, you shouldn't call off with A7, considering that
we've seen Falcasmo make.
They're both playing this way. I mean.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But we've seen Falcasmo make a lot of folds here, and Lobi Puis also, right? We're seeing these guys clearly fold too much. But maybe you're right about that exact hand in that spot. Maybe you're right. But probably it doesn't matter. Probably you're just getting the right price anyway. Lobi Puis is shoving for 4 blinds. There's there's an ante, there's a big blind, there's a small blind.
I think it's very clear if you're in the big blind. Ooh, we got a big blind jump here to 15 million big blind. Things are going to get dirty real quick.
Wow. That is really something. I mean, Falcasmo is now into the spot where if he or she doesn't shove right now, they're going to be putting in, almost half the stack in the next hand.
That's the spot. Songjoy has ace king. Yep. I imagine this one's just going in the middle.
Yeah. Falcasmo is going the way of old Broomcorn's uncle, Grant.
I thought it was old Broomcorn's great uncle.
It may be old Broomcorn's great uncle.
Okay.
But it's just going to fade away like an old soldier.
Old Broomcorn.
Sure.
No
one's going to call this.
What is a Broomcorn?
Besides a last name, it's a broomcorn is like a little, for lack of a better term, like a blister that forms on the bottom of the broom bristles, like a little sort of cancerous. It's not really a growth. It's just
it's malignant.
But you know what I mean? Well, it's nothing. It's just it's just the impact of the dirt, the grime, and the floor against the bottom of the broom, obviously.
You know what? That sounds very believable. If you're making that up, it's very believable, and you did a good job.
Thank you. Well, I did a good job then. Once again, ace king, and here we go. Great spot for Songjoy.
Shower time has to call it off here.
Sour time with 4 blinds will be getting this one in. Especially Songjoy's been moving in a lot and raising a lot. I feel confident. I know how shower time thinks.
Songjoy has had it every time we know, but... Wow.
I can't believe my eyes. It's 4 blinds.
Levy, throw your microphone. I don't want to throw mine and damage it. Throw your microphone. Throw it somewhere.
Wow.
That's upsetting.
But I really... It's amazing how... I mean, it turns out it was a great fold, I guess. But come on, man.
If Daniel
There's 30
Negreanu
million dead money. Actually, there's 30 million dead money in there too.
I mean, it turns out to be right, yeah. But if Daniel Negreanu was watching this stream and doing commentary on it, he would have punched a hole through a car window. That's how upset he would have been.
How many people would he have threatened by now?
So many.
Oh, good times.
A broomcorn is a plant, according to Phoenix Zera. So, okay.
Huh. And Kings now for Songjoy is on the heater of a lifetime.
Good timing for this heater, yeah. And I imagine Lobi Puis has to put it in here, right? Has to.
Yes.
Please do it.
2 blinds.
Please.
Yes, this is going in. If this isn't going in, I'm going to punch myself in the face on the stream.
Yes.
At the ready.
Fold. Please fold.
I'm going to do it.
Fold.
I'm going to do it. Don't you dare fold.
Oh, my God. Fold. Please fold.
I will be very upset with everyone.
How hard are you going to punch yourself?
Not that hard.
Oh, come on. Really hard.
Not that hard.
Fold,
I have to keep doing this.
Fold.
Oh my God, Lobby Pewis. I will find you and choke you out. I become Negreanu. I'm
You,
Negreanu.
oh god,
Yes.
no!
Yes.
Come on, man. I wanted to see it.
Oh,
I wanted to see it
such
happen.
relief. I feel so much relief right now. That really felt close somehow. And look at Phocasmo's less than a blind back. 5-6. You just have to put it in, and you just have to. There's 62 million in there.
Yeah, I think. Well, you don't actually get all of it, but still.
Oh, you're right. You don't. That's true.
Well,
But now Phocasmo's like, ladder up time, baby.
well, there's a deuce now isn't out for the ace 5.
Yeah.
Deuce or an ace.
Here we go. It's going to come slow because it always does. Take your time. We got all night.
Nobody's in a rush.
It's a one.
Oh, it's a deuce.
Oh, it was a one spotter.
Wow. See, that would be better if they actually did the spots on the cards, because then you can
Yeah, it would.
do the sweat that way.
Oh my gosh, what a super. Phocasmo has got to be pulling the Phocasmo hair right out of the head there. That was a $5,000 deuce for Phocasmo.
Yeah.
So sick.
Pretty sick. I mean,
The
Songjoy not too happy either, I'm sure. And the heater has got a big bucket of cold water poured on it now.
Phocasmo with half a blind here on the button. And 5-3 off. I guess you fold. You might as well fold this one. Wait for a better spot now.
I mean,
5-3
the
is just not
antes are like half of his stack.
I think the antes are only 1 million. So.
Oh, the chat has a good point. 5-6 would have made a better straight than ace 5, which is what Phocasmo folded.
Oh my God. Do you think Phocasmo knows that? I hope not. For Phocasmo's sake, I hope not. Shower time. I'm sure shower time's folding a really big range here, but like 4 deuce actually a fold anyway.
Yeah.
Even though you only have 3 blinds. This is some hardcore trying to ladder up we're seeing. Hardcore. Phocasmo got to go with this one.
Gabriel Jordan, a little while ago, Gabriel Jordan said cheering for the Brazilians. It looks like that's good news for you because the top 2 stacks are at the other table. They're both Brazilian with Marola and Pablo Silva. Sylvia or Silva? Sylvia. Okay.
I don't know. It might be Silva. It's Silva. You said it right the first time. There's the shove. Well, on the floor doesn't even have a decision if no one else calls.
I don't think this one's getting through, Jonathan.
I mean, Songjoy could call, right? It's just one blind, but Songjoy throws it away. I guess it's fine because on the floor is always calling. On the floor gets a rebate.
Shower time
could just.
It's actually a weird spot.
Shower time could jam. It costs you nothing to jam, and you have all this dead money in the pot as long as on the floor folds. But it's fine to fold and just try and ladder up here.
On the floor hits the king. And it is Phocasmo's nightmare. We're going to head to the final table unless this is an 8 on the river. And it is a 3.
Phocasmo waited and waited. That deuce has just got to be not getting it in with the 5-6 and also the deuce coming. It's just got to be pulling at Phocasmo's heart. And we now get to find out who everyone else is. This is exciting.
Well, we're going to get to see a real pro here with Pablo.
Yep.
They're just got the staff adjusting the final table to perfect
there we
clarity.
Go. See if we recognize anyone else's name.
Now we have the real names of the players. Got Boban. Boban, that guy's like 7'4", plays for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Different Boban.
Ah, okay.
You can only be playing this if you're not in America, and he's in Orlando right now, so we know it can't be the same Boban.
I don't know. He might have gone with Lou Williams on a little jaunt.
Yeah. Anyway, there's 3 or 4 players with over 200 million, so this changes. The situation changes pretty dramatically here.
Dejan Kalaj just asked everybody else when golden balls. Not sure what that means, but that is what the player asked the rest of the table.
Golden Balls was a BBC game show that was a game theory game show that Liv Boeree actually played, where at the end you bluff. You either bluff or split a cash prize. And Liv Boeree famously said she was going to split with this guy and lied and got all the money because the guy chose split and she chose steal, and she developed not bad about it at all. This is before she became a famous poker player, in fairness to her, but she game theoried the hell out of that guy. It was very believable. You can look that up. It's definitely all over YouTube. I think that's what the Golden Balls references to, but I don't know any more than that. Anyway, Marcelo definitely going to go with sixes here.
Braden Engel asking if this is the final table. The answer is yes. Looks like Kev Meth had that under control, actually. Yep.
Indeed.
There's the reship with sixes.
I like the reship. That's going to push Roberto right out of this pot. If it was just a call, Roberto might have found a shove with the ace-10. Great spot for Marcelo and for all these players to ladder up.
A 10 will do it now. Or a 9. Or an ace, of course. Just a 10, 9, or ace. And we get a deuce. And we are down to 8 just like that. And Marcelo has a huge chip lead on the table.
Yeah. Huge. But, still like 35 blinds only. So we're just really short here. Looks like Dijon is going to be shoving here, and I don't know if anyone can call.
No, I don't think anybody
big
can.
Blind or the small blind maybe could pretty easily. Maybe even the button, but not here. With all these players back. I guess Ramiro can call in the big blind, actually. It's 30 to win 79. I don't think Ramiro will. I don't know. I haven't seen Ramiro play yet. We've only seen everyone else, but yeah, there's the fold. It's reasonable, I guess. I mean, getting pretty good price. Kevin Mathers explains about at the final table, they choose their seats.
Yeah,
that's the
right. We saw that the first event that we did, but they didn't do that in the earlier event tonight either.
Yeah. So I wonder what that's about. Maybe they decided not to do that anymore. It was pretty interesting, the choosing of the seats.
Could have a conflict here between Roberto and Ramiro.
I assume Roberto's just going to shove, though, and that's going to force Ramiro to fold the queen jack. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually a close spot with queen jack, but as we've seen, players are playing relatively tight here.
I don't know. I mean, you're going to call off your stack, which is like, I guess, no, you're right. I was looking at Roberto's stack. You're right. He's got less than 10 blinds. It is reasonably close for sure. There's some real shorties, though. There's 3 people who are super short, You can really ladder up pretty dramatically just by maybe at the end of this orbit, You could lose 3 more people. Boban's got 2 blinds. Jonas has 3.
Marcelo's going to play the big stack. He's going to open the jack-7 off. Pablo Silva's blind might not be the spot where you want to do that, though.
Yeah. At the same point, you might be able to exert a little bit of ICM pressure on a lot of Pablo's range too. Not this part of it, but a fair amount of, is Pablo going to call with like the 9-7 off when you have 3 people who are super short against the big stack out of position? I'm not sure.
This is a good flop for Pablo.
Pablo is probably not going to be intimidated and not going to be interested in folding.
Seems
not
unlikely.
Just now, but maybe at any point in the hand. I don't know. A triple barrel might work, but Marcelo's got a little too much of the hand. Too much of a hand to do that.
The 7 on the turn, and Marcelo takes the lead. We might lose the real pro at the table here, Pablo Silva.
I mean, Marcelo bets here. Pablo's gonna certainly call. I think if it's reasonably sized at all, and he's gonna have less than a pot-sized bet left, a significantly less than a pot-sized bet left. Still, Pablo does have a bunch of outs. Oh, and he just moves in. I think
maybe Pablo can get away. Pablo does get away. Yeah.
Wow, that feels like a really big mistake. He was just trying to, I guess, it was a really wet board, but man, wow.
And we see now that Marcelo is going to be opening a lot, opening 2 times in a row, both with hands that are unconventional for the position, playing the big stack bully.
Yeah. It's less likely to work.
It's a very effective tactic a lot of the time. Although we've all been there, right?
I mean, again,
where you try to play the big stack bully and you get 3-bet 4 times in a row, and they might have just had it, but you just feel like, oh, I guess I can't do that.
Yeah, the short stack starts shoving. You force a call. They double through you. You double up all the short stacks, and suddenly you're back to a normal size stack, and it sucks. That said, trying is part of it. You just got to try sometimes.
Yeah.
So Ronit really could call here, but basically, I guess the under the gun nature would make me want to fold. Again, you got 3 people who've like less than 4 blinds. It's pretty reasonable to fold and give them a chance to bust.
We should be seeing a shove here from Jonas. There we go. And Ramiro probably with the reshove with the ace-queen, and we'll be off to the races.
Ramiro's been folding in this spot constantly so far. Constantly. Will Ramiro find a fold? Nope. Goes with this one. All right. I guess Ramiro's life isn't in danger, though. That's part of it. Ramiro can lose the hand and still be okay. I don't know what Dejan's thinking about here. This may be what you were talking about before. Stalling. Try and hope someone busts at the other table that doesn't exist.
Good flop for the ace-queen.
Diamonds, though. Not anymore. 1 card away. It's red. It's pretty good for the ace-queen. The 10 of hearts or it's over.
It's over. We are down to 7.
Yep. And there's that money jump.
Yeah, I mean, the money's getting pretty serious for a $100 buy-in at this point. I mean, pretty insane that it's $36K, and we have 7 left.
Yeah, they've already won $36K. Yeah, now it's a $15K money jump. And we've got one player who's got 2 blinds. One of them is in the big blind. He's going to have to call this one off, right? He just has to. Thank you. I was really worried he was going to find a fold. Dejan's loving this, by the way. Absolutely loving this. He's got a bunch of outs, though. 6-10-3. But it's a king.
And we're just like that. Down to 6. Can you believe that the first place player in this event is going to win 2,430 times their buy-in? Isn't that obscene?
Whew. That does not happen very often.
No.
Like, never? I think, the $50 event we're going to do later on in this series, we'll see that.
Yeah.
All right, Pablo definitely is. I assume Pablo's going to reshove the king-queen here.
If there's a position Pablo wouldn't, it would be this position, but still good enough. Going to be a little behind.
Just a little.
And a king on the flop.
Rewarded for the good play.
Needs a queen or an
eight.
Oh, a queen.
Just a queen. It was a queen only, and the queen came. How about that?
That hurts a little bit.
Wow. That has really got to be painful.
Brian Kerwin asks for some more head punching props. So, Levy, figure out a way to punch yourself in the head.
I think it's your turn.
No, that's not my thing, man. My thing is the mustache.
We got an ace-jack all in, and Roberto in great shape. Obviously not going to fold the ace-king.
I really hope not.
These are the spots you dream about. I mean, you hope you have aces, but we always take ace-king in this spot and feel good. And now you just got to hold. 400 million.
2 clubs on the flop. And a jack on the turn.
Oh, my goodness.
2 outs.
3 outs. 3 outs.
3 outs. You're right.
Yeah. But still. Oh, devastating blow. Devastating. And Ronit jumps into second place. Roberto with 2 blinds. Unbelievable time to go on break. It feels like every time we go on break, something devastating happens right before it, Grant.
Yes. It absolutely does. So
Roberto was this close to having 432 million chips.
It's I'm happy for anybody who wins money, but I was a little bit hoping Pablo Silva could have had that big pot and see how Pablo Silva operated with some chips in this field.
Yeah, well, that can still happen. Pablo can still, chip up. 2 double ups. Pablo's got 400 million. So
I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty nice. 400 million.
Totally doable. No limit hold'em. This stuff happens all the time, right? All the damn time. I will say this: we just don't like the final tables tonight. So for those of you who weren't here for the first final table we did, it was the Every1 for COVID Relief. It was an $1,100 buy-in event, and the players really went for it. There's a little more money for first than this one, but a little over 300K. And we're seeing it. It was different here where a bunch of the short stacks were careful, but hopefully we're going to see some real going for it again now too, not just coolers. Because I don't know. I guess we have enough shorties though. Everyone may try and wait Roberto out now that he's going to have a blind and a half in a second anyway. So it's really going to be irresponsible to get it in without a premium hand against someone who can bust you. If Roberto's got a blind and a half, I suppose.
That makes sense. That's reasonable.
Because the jumps just get, the jumps get pretty good now. Look at this stuff. Money's getting fun.
It's getting really fun.
Pretty fun. This says 71,000 for fifth up here, money jump, but that doesn't seem right. I think it's 51,000, isn't it?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Because it was an $11,000 money jump. You can't go from that to 25, can you? Seems like too much.
You know what? We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the actual, attorney lobby here and look.
No, it's 71,000 for fifth.
No, it's it's 51,000 for sixth. They just don't have it written right. They're just confused about it. Basically.
There are 6 players remaining.
They haven't updated the next payout. There's a bug, but it's so they've all locked up 51,000 is the deal. Okay, that makes sense. I will say this for Pablo Silva. Pablo knows how to play this stack, right? It's going to be 5 blinds, but knows how to play it and probably will generate a little more value than some of the other players we've seen on these super short stacks, is my guess. Like, know to call all in certain spots. And I expect Pablo's still going to be going for the win, then laddering up for the most part.
Yes.
Although with Roberto with a 1.5 blinds, I mean, do you think even though you only have 5, do you think you just have to sit back and let Roberto bust almost no matter what?
I mean
not if you have like 9s, but...
I mean, if you have King Jack, you got to go with King Jack and hands like that, right? You just have to.
What about pocket 4s?
Yeah, I think you just have to do it. I mean, the money's up top. The real money's up top.
Pablo Silva won $1 million in February. Like, let's go. That's what I would think if I was Pablo Silva. $1 million. It's
a good chunk.
I'll be here for the bracelet and the real cash. Yeah, that is. That's a nice chunk. That's a quality win. Anyone know what the taxes are in Brazil? I don't know how much he actually took home.
Gabriel Jordan probably knows.
Braden Engel asks, is this DePaulo's tourney the Colossus? This was not. This is the opener, which got delayed from last Sunday. The field was over 29,000 players, Braden. Yeah. So there's that. I guess he looked it up. Not the Colossus, but it feels like the Colossus in a lot of ways.
I'm going to be honest and admit that I've never won a poker tournament that had 29,000 players in it. Never have done it.
That is manly of you.
Yeah.
That is brave. Brave is the word that comes to mind. All right. Punch yourself in the face just because, and then we'll really think you're brave.
No.
How about this? All right. Let's do another face punch. I'll call heads or tails. You flip a coin. You tell me what it is. I'm going to trust you to tell me the truth. And if I'm wrong, I'll punch myself as hard as I can in the face.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just a little worried about the structure of it now that I say it out loud, of trusting you to tell the truth. 27% for the Brazilian tax. Thank you, La Greca, for explaining. And no return from the government, of course. Yeah, usually they aren't so super interested in giving that money back. 27%, though, on this much money is
better than it is.
We're going to be paying even more than that in the U.S.
Better than in the U.S. for sure. 27% on a million.
And in New Zealand. New Zealand costs more than that, too. I think once we hit over 300K, I think. Pretty sure. I think it's 33% at 300K.
What is this poker fight club? Asks Amaga Batag. The answer is no, not yet. And also, if you have to ask, you probably weren't invited. So that's how Fight Club works.
Let's be honest. The first rule of Poker Fight Club is, you do not talk about poker.
All right, we're heading. We're heading back to the main screen here because we're going to end break.
All right,
Jonathan, you ready to punch yourself?
All right, heads. All right, we're back. It's too late. Clock ran out. Okay. So this is a perfect spot here. Pablo Silva with the king deuce suited in a normal tourney in a normal spot. I'm sure Pablo would be calling all in a lot with this hand. Like if the small blind shoves, even the big blind, you're supposed to call. The math says call. Be curious to see what he does with Roberto's stack like that.
Oh, Ramiro's the
I
one
say-
moving in though. With the
I say he
8-9.
calls. I think
he's gonna call too.
he's gonna say, I won $1 million just a few months ago. I'm fine. It's not about the money jump. That's what I think. The math says call. I can call. Let's see.
Pablo may be concerned about having a huge edge, and he does fold. Thinks he has a huge edge, prefers fold equity versus calling it off in the randomness of that. Still, not many blinds here. Maybe
he's got
Roberto's
less than
stack.
4 blinds.
Roberto's stack really influenced that, I think. Must have.
Yeah, I would guess so. Maybe he
Meanwhile,
also thinks Ramiro's been tight.
Meanwhile, Roberto is going to get looked up when Roberto shoves ace-10 by the kings of Ramiro. Oh, and look at this Marcelo opening the 9-3 off. Just relentless.
Roberto's going to get looked up no matter whether anyone had kings or not. But clearly, we're going to see, I assume, a reshove here. Yeah, there it is. Just 10 blinds shove, but Marcelo obviously can't call with the 9 high. All right.
Well, Roberto's live, but not so much anymore. Going to need runner.
Not anymore.
Well, a jack will do it.
That's one of them. It would be unbelievable. It would be crazy.
It can't be.
Can't
It can be. It's not.
Could? It's
Nope.
not. Okay. And we're down to 5. Pablo now the clear short stack. No more cute folding for Pablo, I'm sure.
Current payout, 71,000.
I assume he's just going to jam the queen here. No. I guess he figures he can wait. He's got 3 more hands. I guess. But the problem with Pablo is he's also put himself a spot where he just doesn't have fold equity against. Maybe Dijon will find a fold, but
Yeah.
what else is going to fold? I love this by Marcelo. I love it. Just put super pressure on these guys. All right.
Oh, well, Pablo's
finally
got
found a hand.
10s and Marcelo's got 9s, so a likely double up coming for Pablo.
And 1 9 and a third 9 is in Ramiro's hand, so Marcelo's going to have 1 out except flushes or straights. But it's barely going to cost him anything. It's going to cost him less than 3 blinds. But great spot for Pablo all the same.
1 out here, unless it goes runner straight. And now still 1 out.
9 of hearts. It's red. It's not the 9 of hearts. We know that. Huge double. Fold equity back for Pablo Silva.
I keep thinking of Pepe Silvia from It's Always Sunny.
Of course. It's one of the great scenes of all time in television.
Marcelo actually had it that time. That must be a joy.
Yep.
This time not so much, but is Marcelo going to keep the pressure on? Not this time.
Well, it's a little harder when Ronit is in the big blind with so many chips.
Yeah.
This is just going to get through.
Yeah, Ronit can't call with Queen Jack there. Little too much.
Marcelo's got to be a little sad that Ramiro now has 15 blinds also. It's just not as clean. I guess you can put a lot of pressure on the medium-sized stacks, though, which is pretty good.
If Pablo moves in
Dijon's
here, he'll probably get called by Marcelo. But no, Pablo folds the button again. Pablo is really taking careful spots here.
Maybe he is just trying to ladder up and hoping Dijon busts first. Maybe that's actually in play here.
I mean, it is a big ladder. Even if you won $1 million, it's a $30,000 ladder.
Yeah. But again, as we've been saying, there's almost $300K for first place. That's a lot better than than the $30,000 ladder. It's a $230,000 jump.
All right.
You
Is
win the
Ramiro going to call it off? No, just snap folds
No.
the king queen.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised, but it still hurts a little bit.
Well, here we go. Pablo's got a hand, and so does Marcelo.
Yeah, we're going to see a
Pablo's
flip.
either going to double up. He's going to have a real chance to get back in this tournament right now, though.
Yep.
If he can hold on with this flip. No dead cards for Marcelo. No aces or queens anywhere. So they're all live. Here comes the reshove.
And it's a pure flip. And a queen on the flop. That's going to hurt. Needs a jack on the river.
right now. 2 outs, or that's it for the pro.
Looks
Must
like
be
a
the jack of
club,
spades. It's
so
the
it
club.
is.
It's the
That's
club.
it. It's
So
over. And that is
top
the
2
end.
for Marcelo. And Marcelo has an overwhelming chip lead at this point. Look at this.
Could probably shove every hand. Well, maybe not while Dejan is so short.
No, I think that's why you shove every hand. The other 2 players are going to fold pretty much everything, and it's okay if Dejan
Yeah,
calls.
that's true. Maybe you
Doesn't
want
matter.
Dejan to actually beat you when they call, so you can just keep doing it.
Either you ladder up and get free chips, or you double up and they have to fold everything but like aces and kings and queens in their mind, right?
Yeah.
I think you just keep moving it in constantly.
Considering that this was
that was
$100 buy-in and the next money jump is $41,000, just obscene money. How happy are these guys right now, by the way? Congratulations to them.
Yeah, it's got to feel amazing. It's an accomplishment. They overcame 29,000 players to get here.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Look at the size of that stack. All the blue chips. It's crazy.
It's weird that they
By the way,
didn't,
Dejan just folded.
It's weird that they don't color up the one chips, you know? They should color them up on break.
Really? I think those were 20s, but still, I agree. Dejan, by the way, folded with 1 blind under the gun. It's pretty amazing.
Now Dejan is all in, and we're gonna team up on him here, and he's gonna get the triple because he's got a full house. The nuts. Yeah. No longer the nuts.
It's surprising to me. Marcelo is more interested in laddering up than just moving in there. That feels like such a great move-in spot. Or even you can even click raise there. Just make it 2 blinds, and Ramiro's going to fold almost everything because Dejan is already all in. You know, like you don't have to worry about getting bluffed or anything.
Well, Dejan
really
gets to breathe a sigh of relief, fresh air, two whole big blinds.
And here we're back to power poker. I like this. Over 900 million. In Marcelo's stack. What was the starting stack for this event?
Well,
I'm looking it up.
You could do some math, but math is
I don't
hard.
want to do the math.
Wait, we have a conflict here actually between Ronit and Marcelo coming.
Oh yeah, we do. Ronit, yeah, okay, that's a good way to play that. Yeah, I was gonna say if Ronit raise folds, I'm gonna be very upset.
That's not what happened. And
Dejan has a chance to ladder up again. Oh, there's a straight, a 9 or a king.
It's a queen. Not going to do it.
Oh, Dejan almost laddered up again with no chips. It would have been amazing.
That would have been $40,000 for Dejan. That would have been a real nice boon to the evening.
That's like legit heartbreaking. All right, I assume Marcelo's just going to keep. Yeah, Marcelo's got this figured out. Marcelo knows just.
Although Ronit now has a real stack, it has to be considered.
That is true. That is true.
Hey, Dejan woke up with a hand.
Yeah, Dejan's gonna once again the limp to try and.
He's trying to get the whole like everybody come together and let's bust this guy thing.
Let's all make 40,000. Yeah, but once again, Dejan actually has something.
Needs a queen on the river to bust Dejan. Can't do it.
Oh, back up to 4.5 blinds. Almost actually has fold equity at this point again.
Now Marcelo not shoving because of Ronit's stack.
Yeah. And you can see Ronit doesn't want to get involved anyway with Dejan having 4 blinds, right? So.
All right, well, we're going to have Dejan against Marcelo here.
Once again. Wouldn't it be something if Dejan ends up coming back and winning this thing? Wouldn't that just be the greatest story?
I mean, I'm kind of rooting for it just because everybody loves a comeback story.
You have to root for it.
Jack,
so far, so good.
Ace or 10. Just a Jack, Ace or 10.
That's a good card. Good card on the turn.
It's a 7. That's
wow.
a full house.
Look at this. Basically tied with Ramiro now in third.
Quite a comeback. And now with 5s. Time to just go again. Rinse and repeat. Let's go.
Go. I think everyone's going to fold.
Yeah, I think Ramiro's going to fold.
Everyone's just going to fold this time too, right?
I think Marcelo will fold the king 10.
Sure.
Oh, he doesn't go all in.
Yeah.
Does a cheeky little half my stack type thing.
It's weird to do with 5s. I'm not a fan of that at all, but it worked. I mean, it does look strong, but it actually looks super strong. Okay. Assuming Ronit folds, Marcelo should just get right back to shoving every hand.
Absolutely.
You guys have this.
Nope.
Although
Giving up the dream.
I mean, Marcelo must be a little heartbroken. He was over 900 million, chips. Lost a third of that, and a lot of it to Dijon. At least half of that to Dijon.
Well, now we're back to the min opening. I'm surprised to see this min open, but not the shove last time.
Me too. Everyone's just going to give a walk here. Marcelo might just be able to pre-flop his way back up to 900 million, honestly, the way things are going.
Yeah, I've seen that happen for sure.
So Dijon should be shoving here, but yeah, just staying out of the way instead.
Marcelo will be, right? This is a shove.
Yeah.
No, it's a call. Marcelo
what
limps.
Is happening?
Strange.
And then Ramiro doesn't shove.
I know, they both.
That's weird.
I felt like they both should have shoved there.
Ramiro at least could be like, why didn't Marcelo shove? Marcelo's been shoving all the time. Maybe it's a trap. But really strange that
Ramiro just called on the flop. Marcelo bet and Ramiro called. That doesn't
two back doors.
That doesn't fit the narrative.
Blinds.
That doesn't fit the narrative that I've seen so far.
Marcelo picks up a gutter and continues. That's got to end this hand.
Yep.
Ramiro has 7 blinds. He's now in 4th place unless he wins.
Maybe Ramiro's going to show us something and put in a move here.
There's no chance. I will punch you in the face as hard as I can if he does. I say, yeah, you're okay. You're safe.
We're not in the same place.
I will drive to your home.
Okay.
I'm not afraid.
You're not afraid of the highway? It can get, there's like other cars.
Okay, Ramiro, you got to shove this one. Oh, it is heartbreaking to watch. That fold.
That should have been a shove. Yeah.
Absolutely heartbreaking.
All of this said, let's keep in mind this is almost certainly the most money any of these people has played for.
Yes.
It's understandable to have an emotional reaction to play in non-optimal ways because the money is meaningful to your life and you feel so heartbroken if you miss out on that $40,000 jump.
Yep. That's right. Well, so Dijon, I assume, is going to fold this, even though it's 7 blinds and King Jack, which is more than good enough to go with. Yep. Just trying to hang in there. But turns out to be right. I will say a lot of these side folds turned out to be right.
Yep.
Like a lot of them. But that's just coincidence. Okay, so Ramiro really should be calling off with ace-9. Has to call off with ace-9.
I don't expect to call off. Oh, we do. We have the call off and, well ahead here with ace-9, but not a guarantee. And the deuce hits the flop.
Diamonds. Nope. Now just aces and 9s.
And it's the end of Ramiro.
Wow.
Marcelo back up near 900 million.
Dijon has now locked up $141,000, having almost no chips, almost no blinds this entire final table.
And look at this. We have a real
Jack.
And now 8s for Ronit. I think Ronit's going to fold.
Yeah, Ronit's going to fold.
And be sad to see what's going to happen here most of the time.
Well, we got 3 overcards to fade. Yeah, see, it wouldn't have worked out.
Might have worked out.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, unless a 10 comes.
And the sad part I was referring to is that it was likely that Dijon would win and Ronit would not get to be heads up.
Yeah, you're right.
Get the huge money jump.
Instead, Ronit would have gotten the full double and busted Dijon with 8s. But it's an understandable fold, in fairness. It's a totally understandable fold with 8s.
We're now at a 57K money jump. That's just obscene. It's just so obscene to think about it from the perspective of it being a $100 buy-in.
Yeah. You just don't really ever see this. That's it. Even in the World Series of Poker, you don't see that.
The Colossus, I suppose, because it had something like 22,000 players its best year, right?
Okay. Yeah, maybe the Giant. Maybe the final table of the Giant.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. All right, there's the shove. Hey, Dijon's gotten some confidence, it feels like.
Well,
that shove.
Maybe
Dijon had been folding.
Maybe 141K was Dijon's numbers. Like, if I get to 141K, everything's on the table. It's fine.
Yep. Maybe Dijon believes that he or she can win it now, too. Before being short stacked, just trying to eke some stuff out. But now the chips are, second in chips over here.
It would be incredible for Dijon to win this event. after being down to less than
really
a
would.
blind. It's the
I mean,
classic story.
The short says that Dijon can double the chip leader, and that is right. One double up, and all in a win for Dijon makes Dijon the chip leader, and it really would be. I mean, we all have stories like that, right? Like playing a sit and go with one ante left. I've certainly done that and come back and won it with 4 players, and all that kind of stuff. But to do it in a World Series event where the money is way bigger than, like the $500 sit and go I was playing at the Rio or whatever, like, holy moly. Yeah, Dijon really not afraid now.
Yeah.
Look at that.
This
is really interesting.
Shows the jack for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
Yeah.
That was weird. And Ronit now pretty clearly in, whoa, that's a good
pretty
hand.
clearly has aces.
I was going to say pretty clearly in third place, but I'm assuming we're going to see a min race.
I
here
know.
and
I
not
was
a
thinking that same thing, and I was worried about it.
It's right. It's right to do at this table.
Oh, still moves in.
Oh, wow.
I like I like the balance. I like the balance.
I like the balance, but I don't like deciding to use balance in this.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think it's a mistake.
And if Ronit calls it off here, it's going to be trouble.
No chance. No chance. I feel very strongly Ronit is not calling here.
Punch face? Oh, we didn't get the sweat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at this table, Ronit really had to min raise those aces.
Well, now
Ronit's
probably going to get a double here.
Ronit's going to shove. I'm not sure if Marcelo's going to call for half of Marcelo's stack. Marcelo should, but I don't know if Ronit hopefully should just min raise this too, but just to be exploitative. Oh no, the shove. I mean, it can't be that bad to shove. And there is okay, fair enough.
Good call.
Wow, Marcelo could be in third place here, any second. After being the overwhelming chip leader, picks up clubs.
Just a club or a 9. It's red. It's got to be a 9.
It's red. 9 of hearts, or it's a win for Ronit. And the chip lead, there it is.
Wow. I think Marcelo's been the chip leader the entire time we've been watching the stream.
I think you're right. I think Marcelo's played really well too.
Yeah.
But here we are. Sean shoves the 9 deuce in Marcelo's face.
Taunting the opponents. How will they sleep tonight after that 9 deuce was shown to them with such impunity?
So Marcelo, as the short stack with 10 blinds, just folded ace deuce on the button.
Wow.
So I was just gonna say we get to see how Marcelo plays the short stack now. What? Marcelo's been moving in constantly with anything. That's really surprising.
It is.
Really surprising.
Life's a little different when you're not the chip leader, I guess.
I guess. No, we of course know that if Marcelo moved in there, it would have worked out great. I assume these guys are probably checking it down at this point.
Somebody might take a shot.
I would like Ronit too right here. Just bet it 1 blind. I guess king high, you think maybe I'm just good and I don't need to bet it.
You'd be wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's a chop.
Yeah. Still, it's not good.
No, it's not. That's correct. It is not good. Well, here's the thing. The chip leader has 24 blinds.
Yep.
Soon to be 25 when he takes Marcelo's big blind here, yeah. 10 blinds, 15 blinds, and 24.
I think Ronit should maybe apply some of the old Marcelo strategy at this point.
I mean, probably Ronit doesn't even need to be jamming.
Well,
oh boy, Marcelo's got a great chance to ladder up here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just inevitable.
It has to. Yeah, this is just really unlucky. Dijon, all that laddering up, but now it's going to take a 2-outer.
Could happen.
That's really. It could, but it's pretty unlikely.
Needs a 10.
One card.
10 only on the river. It is a 3.
Nope.
That peel was faster, wasn't it? What's up with that?
It was. I think maybe because there were only 2 outs or something like that. Marcelo shows a queen. I think like a taunting queen.
Well, now Ronit Shamani in extremely good shape to win this bracelet and take home the $265K plus a $15K WSOP Europe package on the $100 buy-in. That is
unbelievable.
A nice spot to be in.
It is huge. That is all one can say. Absolutely huge to have done this well. They've already both locked up almost $200,000 though. So at this point, there's almost got to be a sigh of relief to have locked up that much money and only be playing for an additional like 70 or 80. Obviously, you want to win that too, but so often you lock up a certain amount at the end of a tournament, and then the jump is still more than you've locked up. So often, you know.
And in this case, I mean, just looking back, just an hour ago or so, we had 9 players remaining, and the next payout was $18K. Such a difference, just to like you know, get the right things to happen at the final table, make the right plays at the right times, and now you're here, and it's a much different world than 18K.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've done the vast majority of the work has been done at this point, and like. I would think both these guys have got to just feel so relieved to have locked up $200,000. And of course they want to win more, but I mean, it's not like it's 200K and then 500K. Like you might see it in a lot of tournaments at the end, right? The way it's so it's only 25% more, 20% more.
I mean, this isn't Ola Shemina and Christoph Vogel saying each on 3 bullets in 100K, trying to ladder up for 400K at the end. This is a different type of deal.
Yeah. Marcelo down now to 5 blinds, and this could be over any second.
Yeah, something's got to break.
We're gonna see if Ronit's just gonna start calling with hands like Queen 9. You know,
I mean, that should be a call in this spot.
Absolutely, but we're going to see if Ronit will make those calls.
Well, this might be a double for Marcelo.
Shove.
Yeah, it should be a shove, and it should be a call, obviously.
I assume a snap call here. There it is. All right. Well, like 40% of the time, it's over.
A 10 would do it.
That is it. 4 outs, or we play on.
It's a 5.
Only 10. Nope. Marcelo lives, much like Perky.
Perky lives, yeah. This is probably a shove, yeah. Here we go.
It's definitely supposed to be. Yeah. I mean, Marcelo is the one who should be, you know, seeking risk here. You know, like there's not much to be afraid of. You're massively overwhelmed chip-wise. It's okay to, you know, take a close spot. Take all the close spots and some of the not close spots. It's okay.
Yeah, you got a long way to go.
You're going to need to get a little lucky. Don't worry about it. Like, shove this. Yeah.
Get
called, I assume. Ronit
we got to see a call. We have to see a call here from Ronit.
See, Ronit not snap calling really makes me worried about if Marcelo wins this hand, what's going to happen.
Well, Marcelo's very likely going to win this hand.
Yep. We got 3 outs here. Otherwise, Marcelo is going to be the chip leader, I think.
No,
just under the. It's really close though.
But Marcelo definitely back in it now. Real shot to win.
Yep. Man, stuff changes so fast. So fast.
Oh well, this is going to be a boring one.
It seemed exciting for a second. We actually may see Ronit shove and Marcelo fold. Actually, I think we're going to see Ronit call. That's my guess, but
yeah,
we
might see that, and then Marcelo will have a massive edge to win the pot as the aggressor. Yeah. Nope, it's just a shove.
Nope. I assume Marcelo's going to fold.
I think so. I think it's right to fold.
Yeah, absolutely. 20 blinds, heads up for the bracelet, ace 5, a guy who hasn't been 3-betting that much. I'm with you. Yeah. Wang Tang Kiki says, wow, WTF, over 1 billion chips. You get almost 30,000 players. You're going to have a lot of chips, man.
Yellow Paco asking, do you guys find online tournaments are usually shove heavy compared to live? I would say no. Actually, I think it has to do with the stage of the tournament. And online tournaments, if you can play more online tournaments, they go faster. You can get to the late stages more frequently, so you feel like it's that way because the late stages of tournaments tend to have a lot of shoving, except for the truly great structures like the main event and other really good World Series events. So no, I wouldn't say overall that is the case. I think it's just an availability heuristic that you just see that more often.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to certain stages in live tournaments that are not well structured, and it's basically shove or fold for almost the entire table. Like so often, it's like the average stack was 11 blinds.
Yeah.
You know? So How does Ronit know to fold there? Just
I don't know.
fold the 6-5.
But Marcelo has taken back the chip lead. It's been a scraping back to it.
So Ronit called with the ace-5 last time. Let's see if Ronit continues a calling strategy here. Yep.
Well, we've got an open ender for
Wow.
Marcelo against top pair. This could be some fireworks.
This should be some fireworks. Don't jam it, Ronit. You can raise, but don't jam.
I feel like he's going to jam.
Don't do it. 120. 120 is fine. Leave a little room for the draws to jam on you. You got the king of spades. It's fine.
No, jams it.
Okay. You're right. Well, that's heartbreaking for Marcelo, but Marcelo had pretty good equity there with the jack as well. Like 43% or something like that. It's fun to watch people play for like $70,000, $80,000, you know? I enjoy that.
Because you like to pretend that you're doing that?
No, I just like other people, like, you know, being very emotionally invested in what they're doing. I like the stakes being high. I guess most people probably feel the same.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't think we'd be streaming this if they were playing for $40.
Next week.
Next week.
Well, do we know what our next event is? It's
Yeah.
Wednesday. It's the big one on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, we're very excited for it. It's the $2,500 six max. Imagine that'll draw some
Ooh.
very good players, and some of them are going to make it to the final table. It's going to be some really good play in that one.
Yeah, I think at least 2 name pros are going to make it to the final table, or 2 crusher types anyway.
Yeah.
Which, you know, definitely didn't happen in this example, this table, right? We had one known crusher type, and that's it.
Which is, of course, expected in a $100 tournament.
With 29,000 players, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. The fact that one made it is kind of amazing. So Ronit's just going to jam. Oh, no. Okay, great. I'm happy Ronit didn't jam the 8s. I guess it would be okay, though. 20 blinds and all.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, it would not be a mistake, I don't think.
No. And Marcelo actually isn't doing that much risky type play. Not 3-betting really at all, or putting in big preflop raises. Not like fighting in that way too much. The check back with top pair for Ronit. But unless Marcelo reads into that and makes a play, we're not going to see anything happen here but a fold. Yeah. So Grant, anything you're doing here when your head's up, relatively short stacked. I know you used to play a million tournaments, right? You used to play
Yeah.
live tournaments for a living. You get heads up all the time in these spots, right? Where the blinds are relatively high.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of strategy that you would employ here that you feel like either these guys aren't doing, or maybe it isn't as obvious?
I don't think it's applicable to such an anonymous situation, because what I would do in these situations is play hyper exploitative against the type of player I was against. I generally felt like I had an edge on the player, and I would employ a limping strategy against players that I thought that was advantageous against, who were not so willing to fold pre-flop, but also I had a post-flop edge on, and I would raise 100% of hands against the players who would be unwilling to or misunderstand that they're supposed to have a wider range heads up, and just like completely put pressure on them. So it was all player dependent, is mainly how I approached these situations when I was playing those. You're referring to when I was playing, 40 to 100 player tournaments every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcelo rivers the 5. Already was ahead, and looked like no one was really interested in playing this pot anyway. We're just checking it all the way. See, it's interesting to me, Ronit, with like a jack 9 there, never bluffs at any point. It feels like surprising to me. Like you're just hoping. I mean, sometimes the jack is good, but you figure it's so rare you're going to get to the showdown with a jack. These guys are both now employing a limping strategy. Actually, no, that's not true. Yes, it is a limping strategy. I take it back. So
it is, or it
that's
isn't true.
interesting.
We're all very confused.
It is true. They're employing a limping strategy.
Okay.
It's hard. We've been at this for 4.5 hours, in fairness to us.
Yeah. It's been a
Possible.
two
And I almost punched. Sorry, go ahead.
It's been a 2 tournament night, long night.
It's been fun. Oh, that was scary. Marcelo now not limping, but bad timing.
Yep.
Ronit could have called there to try and win the whole tournament by flopping well, but totally reasonable, of course, to shove.
I think I like that idea. Call and try to just flop well and let Marcelo bet into you. in with this stack depth. I think that's kind of a cool idea. Although of course you miss a lot and
you miss, and sometimes you flop all and an ace comes on turn to river.
hey, we
and you
have an
make a
all
bad
in.
fold. We did it.
Ronit's
All
gonna
right,
need
this
a
is
king or a queen.
Or Marcelo's going to have so many chips. Here we go. This could be for the bracelet right now.
It is a 10 and we
Nope.
play on.
Man, oh man.
The Sharts 55 is asking if, since this is a WSOP, there's no deals. I assume that's the case. It is a WSOP event. They have always been very anti-deal.
Insanely anti-deal. I am.
Oh, this could
My
be it.
understanding is there. Yep. Great spot for Marcelo to take it down right now. Good flop for Marcelo.
A 4
well,
will do it.
Now.
Or a 6.
It's a 4 or 6. That's it. Pretty good.
It's a 7. And Marcelo almost led wire to wire, but does get it all. 277K, this says. I guess the prize pool increased in a way that we didn't understand until now. Along with that WSOP Europe bracelet, which an event package, which is worth about 15K apparently.
Yep. So it's about $290,000 worth of stuff, most of it cash. Fabulous job by Marcelo. I thought Marcelo played great, wielding the big stack pretty much the whole way through, and probably deserved to win the most out of anybody.
I agree. Well, thank you for watching, guys, and we will see you guys on Wednesday for an event we're very excited for, the 2506 Max. Sure to draw some really good players. I'm sure we'll see some of them at the final table. We hope to see you guys there.
Absolutely. Yeah, check us out. We'll see you there.